Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussblush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make it right? Can Res Mall make it right to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one, all coming down the advantage.
Coin! Meyer, that's nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Loshak, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio, bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, baby with the bag and you love it. We want it top 10, we above it. Let's check.
Yo, are we live?
Yes, B, we are.
Oh, sorry about that. I was a little bit late there, Jose Bouquett. Look, I get a little bit of a break right now because we have a massive show, right? We're covering all 9 college football championship games, conference championship games I am prepared for. We got 12 NBA games, 12 NHL games, whatever the hell we got. It's going to be a fun show. I'm cool. I'm a
I
little
like
bit
the
harried.
jacket.
This is not the best I've ever looked in my life. Not the worst though, but it's okay. I'm fully prepared for all the college football. All right, so what are we doing? We're doing NHL first, and then what? Then we're going to run to what?
NBA.
Okay, and then we're going to run to all the college football games, right? All right.
Yep. And if Billy and Cab want to mention any college basketball in between, of course, they're more than welcome to. Pete, can you tilt the camera up so we can see that lovely hat of yours as well?
Yeah, sure. Ryan's daughter. I like this place. On the Upper East Side. Ryan's daughter. I'll take you there sometime, Jose Bouquett. You come to New York. I'll take you around. I'll take you around to a few places. Yeah. All right. So hold on one second. I thought that we had more. I thought I had more of a buffer when it came to time at the beginning of the show, but I guess not. That's great. I haven't even tweeted out the friggin' show yet, but we got like 12 NHL games and we got Gokster waiting, right? We've only got until like 11:30 Eastern.
Oh, Pete,
what's going on? I'm all behind.
Great news, Pete. Let's bring him on and he'll tell you yourself. Mr. Gokster joins the program. Gokster's free and clear today. He's got the day off. He's selling so many fucking hockey sticks that he's free and clear, right?
Yeah, we're in the clear, Pete. We can go as long as we need to go, brother.
All right, thank the Lord. I'm a little bit rushed right now. You know, I like to prepare before the show so that people, when they see me on camera, they're like, "Oh man, that guy's like a pimp instead of a dork." You know what I mean? Like you gotta have people peeking behind the curtain here. All right, but I gotta tweet this out. We got a whole bunch of NHL games. I will say right now, there's a lot of weird NHL games, like teams that are in big bounce back situations as big favorites, kind of playing like crappy teams that have some life to them. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Gokster. Let me just tweet this out and pull up the comment section so I can look at it, and then we'll get into it. But in general, hit us with, like, while I do that, like 2 or 3 minutes of NHL thoughts right now. What teams do you think are maybe like fades in the next few weeks? What teams you thinking maybe might have some value? Like San Jose, for example. A lot of young guys on that team, not necessarily winning, but they're playing close as big dogs. Hit us with 3 minutes of NHL thoughts, Mr. Gokster. Thanks for
We'll start with San Jose. Yeah, there's some teams that are playing really well. San Jose, even Columbus, guys. I was looking at Columbus there. They're on a heater, Pete. Look at that, 6'3", 5'2", 5'4", 7'6", 5'1". Like, these guys are netting some pucks, that's for sure. Probably playing with the old CCM jet speeds or the ripcord or something like that. But looking at the totals too, this Columbus team's been going over. Calgary too on the other side. Bad road trip. 4 games on the road, Pete. They lost all 4 of those. So you got a team in Columbus that doesn't usually play really good hockey. They're actually they're even. They're 11-12. And then Calgary, who's coming off some losses, 12-13. That's a game I'm looking forward to talking about. Montreal too. This is a team that just not getting it going really there. They lost 4 of the last 5. You know, Boston, the Rangers, tough teams. Got the Islanders, who they're going to have a couple key players back. So, Islanders, tough team to gauge. Boston too, with the new coach. That's been a interesting watch there. They had the one loss to the Penguins there, guys, and since then they beat the Islanders, beat Montreal, tough loss to Vancouver, but playing better hockey. And then Detroit coming off some losses. It's tough, man. The parity's real. Washington too. This team's just been humming, Pete, without Ovechkin and Milano. You know, won their last 4 games against the Devils, the Lightning, and the Panthers. This Washington team might be for real. They got Logan Thompson too. We'll get into that. He's been looking stellar. One of the best goalies not many people are talking about for the Washington Capitals. So a lot of teams, interesting games. Florida, Pittsburgh, that'll be an interesting one too. Florida's been, they've won their last 3 games there after losing 4 in a row. So they've turned it around. But looking at Pittsburgh too, they've won 3 in a row. So some interesting matchups tonight, that's for sure.
Okay, great. I didn't hear any of that. Talk for a few more seconds while I tweet this out, and then I'll be back with you, Gogi, okay?
How about my Broncos? Let's talk about that game last night. Unbelievable game. The Broncos, that was a heartstring game. Famous Jameis, that was him at his finest, Pete. I think they said he threw for almost 700 yards between the Broncos and his own teammates there. Judy went off, but in the end, Denver got the win. Those picks were huge. Going into the bye for the Broncos, got the Colts coming up. So I feel like Broncos get that win against the Colts. They should be close to securing that spot. But yeah, what a game that was last night, Pete. I don't know if you caught it, but unbelievable football game.
I did. I tend to do well on like the Thursday and the Monday night games in my contests, and then totally shit the bed with the midweek games. But yeah, I did monitor that. I did have Denver in the over. And I hit the Thursday night game too, but I totally shit the bed with I had five out of the 6 Thursday night sides in totals, but and totally shit the bed with the midweek stuff. All right, let's see what do we get here. And now I got to just bring up the comment section, and then we'll be ready to go. Just give me a 1 second here, Mr. Gokster, running a little bit late, but that's cool. And there we are. All right,
we got all the time in the world too. Good games here. 10 games on the slate. Looking forward to it.
All right. Shout out to the comment section. Irish King, Nasty Nate. Where's my fucking glasses? All right, okay. Nasty Nate, Irish King, Skunt Blaster. He likes Buffalo money line plus 125. We'll talk about that. I still haven't. I got to copy and paste all these things that the people have posted for later on in the show, and then we'll talk about it. Let's see, Buffalo. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's one of those games where it's like, we'll talk about it. Hold on, let me copy and paste it. And then we'll just start going through it one by one. What else do we got here? What else do we got here? Yeah, people talking about the game last night. Shout out Reg Mob, Justin McElvey. Let's see what his play. Oh, the Cavs over. The Cavs game over. All right, well, we'll talk about that one a whole lot later. And also Cunningham is going to be in for – well, we'll talk about that. Okay. Let me just, God, everything's just all over the place. All right, let's get into NHL. You ready to start, Mr. Gokster?
I'm ready, buddy.
All right. Detroit, Boston, right? We've talked about Boston. New coach. When it started out, it was just very obvious that they were going to play a strong defense-oriented game, low scoring. I bet their unders and the opposing team total unders for a couple of days. And we talked about it last Tuesday. I was like, at some point, their games are going to start going over. And it happened real fast, right? They're off a big Montreal win where they put up 6 goals. Now they're scoring. Now they're, a pretty big home favorite here against Detroit, who is, they've been undervalued in the past bunch of games. 5 of those games were at home. Now they're on the road. I know the lines moved a little bit in their favor, but my sense is that this is probably a nice Boston spot, and probably we're going to see some go back to some lower scoring games from Boston. So I don't know what I think here. You have a much better read on this, I'm sure, but my lean would be slight. My not even a lean. My first thought is maybe under, maybe Boston, maybe Detroit team total under. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just seeing here. They played on the 23rd. They're at Detroit. It was 2-1 for the Bruins there. 1-1 in the first period. Detroit's coming off 2 tough losses, though, Pete. Both at home, 5-4, 5-4 against Vancouver and the Devils. And then their last, 6 games here, they've actually covered the puck line. 3 of their losses have been by 1 goal. Then beating Calgary 2-1, Islanders 4-2, Islanders again 2-1. I'm going to go with the I'm going to make a play here, guys. I'm going to go with the Red Wings in the first period, Pete. You're gonna have you're gonna have Ville Husso going too. This guy hasn't played much this year. He's had 1 game per month. It hasn't gone well, but he's gone back to the AHL. He's looked actually solid there. 2 goals, 1 goal, and I believe a shutout as well. So Ville Husso, I believe he's gonna have a really good start to this game. I'd be surprised if he just gets shelled. 41% power play too for this Detroit team on the road in the last 30 days. 87% penalty kill for the Bruins. So it'll be tested tonight. And then some penalty minutes, Pete, is something I want to look into, is to see how many penalties each teams have been taken as of late home road. Detroit, too, 5 minutes, 42 seconds. That's one of the best on the road penalty minutes-wise. So they're playing accountable, too. That tells me 21 goals for, 23 against. Boston's 19-21. So but the Bruins still, they're beating up on some weaker teams. Like they beat up on Montreal, the Islanders, Detroit, a close game 2-1, then Utah. And then the opponents Detroit's are playing, I think, are a little more tested, and they beat the teams they should be beating for the most part of late. So I think Detroit's going to come in here. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game. It will be tough, but I think they're just playing good hockey right now. And you got Hughes, so I think he'll be ready for this game. And it's also a back-to-back. Only 2 teams have back-to-backs tonight, and the Bruins are one of them. They play at Chicago tomorrow. So still waiting on confirmation if it's going to be Swayman or Korpisalo. So I think the Red Wings could be live here tonight. First period plus 140.
Does it matter whether it's Swayman or Korpisalo? How much?
Korpisalo has been playing actually pretty good. He's been playing, good hockey. I'd say either one of them. I wouldn't. The under does feel pretty live here. Bruins have been playing like a new style of hockey. 9% power play too, Pete. Their power play has been very, abysmal there the last 30 days. They're doing nothing at home. 4-3-2. Then Red Wings are 3-3-1 on the road. So I think the Red Wings are alive here. Goaltending wise, I don't think it really matters too much. If anything, maybe I think Korpisalo would maybe give him a better shot here, and then rest Swayman for Chicago, but it's hard to say.
I'm seeing Swayman expected.
Yeah.
And you think that that Husso will be okay here?
I think he'll be good. He looked really good in the AHL coming up. Confidence is there, which is big for a goalie. He didn't look good in his first 3 games, but I think they got a good shot. Revenge factor too, coming off that loss.
Mm-hmm.
Played really good against Vancouver and the Devils from what I'm seeing here. I didn't catch those games, but only lost by 1 goal and then lost by 1 against Boston. They're just playing good hockey. Petrie is day-to-day. Would be nice if he's in, but and also Boston's missing Lindholm on defense. So, I believe, and also the penalties too. They're not taking many penalties on the road. 9 minutes 46 for Boston too. So, and then you're going up against that 41% power play in the Red Wings, which is number 1 for any team playing on the road tonight. So I think the Red Wings they got a shot.
Well, Nate Dogg 420 likes the over lean draw. Why would that be? Why would he be leaning over?
Well, I think he thinks the Red Wings can score, so then Boston will have to keep up with the Red Wings. You know, Nate's not going with Detroit. He's definitely a Boston. But yeah, they scored 6 against Montreal. 6 against the Islanders. I think they'll have to keep up with Detroit here. I think Detroit are going to have I think they'll play well.
All right, the line has gotten bet. The total's gotten bet up, which is not a great sign. But we'll start off. I'll take a shot with the under. It feels so bad though. Under 6. I don't know. Boston's not doing what they were. Is Boston going to go back to doing what they were doing, or are they fuck?
Husso too, Pete. It's 60 minutes. He hasn't played a lot in the NHL. He has looked good in the AHL. I do believe the first period he will be fine. Adjustments from Boston, second, third period will be interesting. All
right.
Yeah, I think Detroit can win this game, scoring even 3 goals in this matchup.
All right.
To be
I'm going to take the under 6 minus 114. Seeing right now at a site I'm looking at. I feel I'm a little uncomfortable about it, but I'll take it. And I was thinking about the Detroit team total under, but you think that that Detroit is live here. That's not a down spot for them.
I do.
Okay, let's look at the comment section and then move on. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, let me see. Oh, Morgan Spooner with college basketball stuff. I'll copy and paste that. There you go. Huge shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. Only one bet. Vegas first period over. We will talk about that game. That is that's an interesting one. Vegas, of course, coming off of a pretty bad loss, and the question is, it's obviously a bounce back spot for them. I guess Razor Sharp Picks is just like in goals as opposed to a bounce back spot for Vegas. Going up against Edmonton, though. All right, next game on the card, Mr. Gokster, Colorado Buffalo. Here we go. Skunt bag likes the Sabres money line at like plus 125. Colorado lost 3 of 4, all against good teams, though, right? Buffalo lost 3 in a row, 2 of them shutout losses. So how much of that is fundamental and how much of that is variance or just down spots for them? Scuntbag obviously thinks that Buffalo is either going to play strong defensively or score enough to get a win against Colorado. I was thinking about an over. Both teams have had scoring issues recently, and I was thinking about timing. They should be better offensively, both of them. I think it is a high total, though. You're not getting 6, you're getting 6.5. I was thinking that Colorado would have a bounce back spot here offensively, so I was thinking Colorado team total over. I was thinking over. What do you think, Gogi?
That's actually where I'm kind of looking here, Pete, too. Wedgwood, I don't know if it's going to be Wedgwood or if it's going to be Gorgiev. He's played a lot in the last week or so, Gorgiev. So I actually had Wedgwood. He's 1-2-1 this year on the season, 878, 3.69 goals against. And then the Sabres here, let me just see what have they been doing the last few games here. Yeah, the 3 games they've lost, Islanders, Vancouver, Minnesota. They're pretty much healthy too. That's a big thing I like looking at seeing. Well, no, sorry. They got the Greenway day-to-day. I believe they could be coming back today. Samuelson's out and Lafferty. But then the Avalanche, Pete, the injuries keep adding up for this team. Yeah, Manson, defenseman, Wood, Colton's out again. Drouin's out again. And then Clellington, can't pronounce his name, but defenseman for Avalanche, he's also out. Sabres, they're at home. You also got Bowen Byron. Don't forget this guy played for the Avalanche guys for a while, going up against his former team. 25% power play, too, for the Sabres, 82% penalty kill. That's better than the Avalanche. That's 19% and 63% penalty kill not a good penalty kill from the Avalanche. Then goals for, goals against. Let's see, games wise, it's pretty much the Avalanche have played one more than the Sabres have last 30 days, but 19-4, 18 against for the Sabres, and then 19-4 for the Avalanche, 26 against. So I think the Avalanche are a little susceptible here, especially in net. They're going to probably go with Wedgwood, I would believe. And if they do go Gorgiev, I think that's even better for the over. Pete Luukkonen, he's been decent in his last 30 days at home here. He's 4-4-1, 898, 279 goals against. Yeah, I do believe I had to lean to Buffalo too here, but I think first period, both teams to score is in play here because, coming off those 2 losses, 2 from Colorado, I think they'll be hungry there. This should be a fast game too. Both these teams should be playing, I think, up and down hockey here, despite Buffalo being a lower scoring team. I do think there'll be some goals here. First period, both teams to score. I do have a lean to the over as well, even a lean to the Sabres team total over here, Pete.
Yeah, and Razor Sharp Picks telling us Vegas first period home over 10-2. And tonight's game certainly feels like it's got that written all over it, going up against Edmonton and Vegas coming off of a bad loss. And Rem Most saying, Pete, go buy an 84 Trans Am as it would complete your look today. I might just do that. I might just do that, Rem Most. I'm going to look that up. Thank you. Thank you so much for the tip. All right. Oh, man. Go ahead.
Sorry, Pete. Colorado have only covered the puck line here twice in the last 10 games. So a couple of their wins here have been a lot of 1-goal game wins. And when they've lost 4-1, 5-3, 8-2, 5-2, and they lost, it's been pretty bad too. I think Buffalo could be live here. Colorado, like I said, banged up.
Yeah. The line's moving in their favor, though. Where is it? Scuntbag play of the day, Buffalo Sabres plus 125. Now that's up to like 132 or 130. So a small move so far in Colorado's favor. Also a small move to the under. It was 6.5 even on both sides. Now it's juiced to the under. So that's interesting, right?
It is interesting. You got Luukkonen at home. This guy's, I'd say, a top 15 goalie. Maybe close to top 10 at home. So you got the goaltending advantage for the Sabres. That's for sure here.
All right, I'm gonna pass on this one as of right now. It's an interesting matchup, but I'm gonna pass. Next game on the card: Islanders and Montreal. Montreal, a home dog here. I don't know, man. Sometimes you look deep into the numbers. Sometimes you just are like, well, you got two teams that suck, right? One of them is a home dog. Why would you not bet the home dog? I mean, Montreal sucks, but the Islanders suck, right? They're off a shutout home win, but before that, they were losing pretty badly. Did the Islanders turn things around? I don't know. I don't think so. Montreal's not a great team, but as a home dog, why would we not like them?
It's a tough one, man. Montreal's been really inconsistent. Injury report here for the Islanders. Pajot, Jean-Gabriel Pajot, French player, as you can tell. He'll be playing at Montreal tonight. He's going to be in. PD's been out for the last few games. Varlamov did travel, but you got Sorokin going, 3-3, 920 save percentage. It's going to be a no play just to get it out of the way for you guys. I lean to the under as well. That's despite Islanders have gone over in 3 of the last 4. But against Montreal here, they've just been very inconsistent. That one win against Columbus, 4-3, but they have been allowing a lot of goals too. Primo did go, I believe, in their last game. So you're going to have a fresh Montembeault, who's much better at home than I've been saying. They're 903 save percentage, 3.14 goals against. But listen to this here, Pete. The penalty kill for the Canadians has been 100% in the last 30 days at home. So they haven't allowed a power play goal from the opponents. And what's the Islanders? 5% power play on the road the last 30 days. So feels like maybe the Islanders be a little tough for them to score here. 71% penalty to kill too for the Islanders, which isn't the greatest, going up against 21% in the Canadians. Islanders are not taking many penalties though. Canadians have not been scoring much at home. I lean to the under here. That would be the play. Their first period under, full game under. Going to be a no play here.
All right. I will take the Islanders team total under, though. At one side, I'm seeing 3.5 minus 163. That's a big line. Obviously, I can shop around and probably get better. But, 3.5, the Islanders, they get 4 on the road. Give it up for them, right? I mean.
Yeah, and that's it. I don't know what the boost of Pajot is going to do for the team here. I'm just pulling up their lineup. Yeah, he's on the third line there. They're on the third line with McLean. That doesn't make sense. Wallstrom. They got this young Russian there. Can't even pronounce his name. Maxime
Islanders.
yeah, that's the Islanders there on the second line. It should be a slower game. Just looking at it, I know they've scored a lot, but I'd be leaning to the under here. Yeah.
All right. I just saw another site with 155, so I'll take that one. Islanders team total under 3.5 minus 155, but you still you don't like Montreal as a home dog. Let's see what the comment section is saying about this game. If anything, let's see. Montreal. There you go. Nate Dogg 420. Caulfield to score and Montreal money line. Andrew G saying I should instead get an 89 Camaro IROC Z. Okay. I might just get both of them. I'll put some of the people who work for me to work a little bit harder and tell them I need both, and they'll do it because they love me and they're dedicated to me. All right, let me see. What do I want to do here?
One more thing. Alexander Romanov played for this team, drafted by this team. He's healthy now, first-line defenseman for the Islanders. He'll be playing his former team too. And then also Patrick Waugh, coach for this team. He was, Montreal Canadian legend, played for Colorado, obviously, but this guy's a Montreal, heavy French-speaking coach, so he's going back home too.
All right, yeah, I'll just take. I won't take the Montreal money line. I'll take the Islanders. Maybe the Islanders will win like 3-1 or something like that, and I'll cash them with the money line. All right, let's see what other people are saying. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card: Florida Pittsburgh. Wow. This is one of the games. Wow, this is a tough one here. Florida, of course, had been losing, right? Then they turned it around, and now they got 3 big wins. Shut out Carolina in their last game, right? So Florida's rolling. That's a team that you don't want to step in front of when they're rolling. Now they're on the road. They're a big favorite at Pittsburgh, though, but Pittsburgh's thinking it up all year long. Last 3 games, though, 3 pretty nice wins, Did they turn it around? I don't think I'm convinced of that. But they are, trying. The coach is at least trying to change up their style, trying to find a style that might work at least for a few games, and it has. Now they're going up against Florida, though, but they're getting a big dog number. And this is another one I was thinking under, maybe Florida team total under, first period under, I was thinking. What do you think, Gogi?
Ooh, kind of looking the opposite kind of here, Pete.
Okay.
I'm seeing Spencer Knight is going to be a net from what I'm seeing here. 2-2, 892 save percentage, 3.04 goals against. They have only had a couple games on the road here. Penguins, their schedule the last 10 games have been pretty much the same. They won 1 game in the last 6 or 7, and they both
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. For Florida, I'm seeing Bobrovsky expected.
Bobrovsky expected. Okay, I thought I was looking at a beat writer earlier, and I thought I saw something about this is game day. Goalie starts. Knight should play while Bob is away. Bobrovsky expected an additional day to his family, staying back in Florida.
All right. Well, I'm seeing, Daily Faceoff has Knight unconfirmed. RotoWire, which I guess I usually trust, has Bobrovsky expected, but that's probably wrong. You're probably right. I'm sure your beat writer is right.
Yeah, this was yesterday at 6:17. They were saying he's staying back home. So, yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be and then they also recalled Chris Drager. So that's the goalie from the Charlotte Checkers. So it looks like he is not going to be playing here. So that's kind of where it leads me a little more to the overs. Ned has been really good at home. He's 4-4-1-1. 0.901 save percentage, 2.87 goals against. The special teams is what really makes me kind of want to take the over here. People teams last 30 days they're taking close to 7.5 penalty minutes. That's average, if not a little worse than average. Power plays 25% for Florida, 33% for the Penguins. That's home road splits, and then the penalty kills are 70% and 69%. So if a couple of these teams get on the power play, I would expect some power play goals tonight. The last few games too, Penguins have been scoring at home. Like I said, Panthers have only played 3 games in the last 30 days on the road, so they should be fresh, pretty much healthy too. So I think there's going to be enough offense out here, and the goalies are going to struggle a little bit. That's kind of where I'm going to go here. This isn't one of my favorite plays on the card, but what I'm doing is both teams to score in the first period plus 150, and then both teams to score 3 goals at plus 180. Another thing, too, I was looking, both teams have allowed 3 goals or more in 4 of the last 6 games, too, Pete. And then one of those hit, we're at least up, 0.5 or 0.8 of a unit. So I'm going to go with some goals here tonight between the Panthers and the Penguins.
All right. Well, the line hasn't moved much. It's still, roughly plus 150, 155 for Pittsburgh and 6.5 juice to the under. Is Knight that bad? I mean, I know he pitched a shutout in his last game. He's not that good, but he's that bad? You're like, oh, Knight's
I wouldn't say Spencer Knight's that bad, Pete. I just had his stats up here. He just doesn't get as many starts as you'd see in the past. You're just going up against a team in Pittsburgh that's playing really well here. His games on the road here against Chicago, they lost. He allowed 2. Against the Islanders, they won. He allowed 3. Against Columbus, they won. He allowed 3. And then against Buffalo, they lost. He allowed 4. So his stats where he's got the shutouts, he's played well. It's going to be at home. And the home roads for goalies, I think, is real. So that's kind of why I think Spencer might struggle. I think Pittsburgh could be, I don't want to say live, but I think they'll be able to score.
No, I mean, Pittsburgh is, I don't know. Have they? They're not a good team, right? They have not turned a corner, have they?
Well, I wouldn't say they turned a corner, Pete, but how bad they are, like I wouldn't really be betting against Pittsburgh. Great, even though Florida is playing really good. Just they're finally playing some good hockey, and they're in need for good hockey too. So they're not a team I would be betting against, really. Yeah,
I'm going to pass on this one. A very interesting handicap there. All right, let's look at the comments section and see. I'm copying Andrew G's comment as well. I want to get myself a little silver dollar that I can twirl around on a string. All right, next game on the card, Mr. Gokster. Here we go. San Jose, Washington. Right, San Jose off 2 big wins over Seattle, and they have been clearly undervalued for a while now, if not winning as dogs. Playing close, not getting beat by a lot as huge dogs. And here they are again, a huge dog line. Washington, they've won 4 in a row. 3 of those is a decent-sized dog. So Washington obviously playing well without Ovechkin and undervalued as well. But San Jose is, I don't think it's a fluke, right? They've got a lot of young guys. They've got, you see this in all sports every year. Some team that sucked for a long time, and then they get an influx of inexperienced but youthful and talented guys who are who are not going to get fazed by losing. They're just happy to be there every night, giving, no matter what happened the last night, if they've lost, if they got blown out, if they lost a bunch in a row, they're still going to come and play with energy. And that's pretty much what San Jose is. So I don't know if I would have the balls to take them on the money line here to win outright, but I think that they're, how long is their state of being undervalued going to last? I don't know, but I think at least another couple games, and probably here as well. Although, again, I don't feel comfortable fading Washington. But Washington, a massive home favorite here. Total's about 6.5. I was thinking about San Jose team total over. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be a good play, I would say, too, Pete. They've done it in the last, few games here, 4-2, 8-5, 7-2. And even when they lose, they're scoring 3-2, 3-2. But they're so young. So this is a team that's going to make mistakes, but they're also not going to be out of a game. Great breakdown on San Jose. Even if they lose a game, you got Celebrini, Eklund. Who else here? You got Zetterlund, who's still, I would say, not too old. They got Will Smith, another guy they drafted there, Ty Dellandrea. And then on the back end here, they also got some young players. So with some experience as well. This is a team. And the big thing is they're led by youth and their first 2 lines. And then even Will Smith, they're on the third. And on the other side there, Washington, this feels like it could be an over. It feels like it could be an over. With that being said, though, I believe I took where are we here? No, it's a no play. I almost took no goal in the first 9 minutes 30, but I'm glad I didn't. Sharks are not taking many penalties, nor are the Capitals. 92% too here, Pistol. This Sharks team, I feel like they've always had a good penalty kill on the road. 92% on the road, 80% for the Capitals. And then both teams are 15% power plays. So should be some 5-on-5 hockey here. And then looking at 5-on-5 in 7 games, 23-4, 21 against for the Capitals. And then in another 7 games, 17-4 for the Sharks, 18 against. And then that's with Ovechkin and Milano for the Caps. Gaudreau and Vlasic are out for the Sharks. Blackwood's been okay. That's a big issue there. I was talking about Thompson at the top, Pete. He's like 11-1-1, 6-1-1 at home, 904 save percentage, 274, playing really good hockey. So it's going to be a no play. Kind of lean to the over here, just the way both teams have been able to score 5-on-5. I wouldn't talk anyone off San Jose either, to be honest, Pete. But it's a tough cap. But this is a team that's going to be live. Both teams are playing really well. Really, it's a tough game.
And the thing about teams like San Jose and players who are young and talented like that is they are also inconsistent. So they'll have like their big, veterans tend to be much more consistent. Yeah. These guys are going to have like their big explosive games and then, get shut out or score 1 or 2 goals. And for that, you want to take dog line. So probably just taking like San Jose -1.5 for a bunch of games will have some value. Just doing it blindly right now, for example, +560. You know what I mean? They probably either lose by 3 or win by more than 1,
Yeah, absolutely. And even on the puck line, you take them on the opposite +1.5 in some of these blowouts there. They're 8-2 in their last 10 looking at their +1.5. So they're never favored. So even taking that +1.5 seems to be live for this team.
What's up with Ovechkin? What's up with Washington right now?
They're young. I've been saying for a while, Pete, they're led by, Laperoux and McMichael. 2 young players came up from Hershey Bears that won 2 Calder Cups too. So they got winning young talent that's coming up to the NHL, and that's kind of making it. They're not taking long to get acclimated here. And then Dubois, he's playing well against second line here. Dylan Strome, players that didn't play exactly well on some other teams, but starting to play much better. Like they got Tyler Radish too, and Alexei Portras, Tom Wilson. If you look at their team, you wouldn't think they would be able to play as well as they are. They're just, as a team, it's just they're playing very well. But if you look at their lineup, there's a lot of players like Ivan Miroshnichenko. Who the hell is that guy? Brandon Duhaime's on this team. Lars Eller's on this team. Andrew Mangiapane. So they've added a lot of players from other teams this year. And then on the back end there, they still got John Carlson, Matt Roy, who's been playing well, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Jacob Chychrun, Sandin, and then Vervari, who those are all solid defensemen too. So just a good put together team, I would say, in this Washington club. So,
yeah. So you don't really want it. That's kind of similar to San Jose then.
So yeah, similar to San Jose in the sense, but they just don't have that Ovechkin, that big leader. They really don't have a standout player that's like an old veteran, I would say, on this team. So, but yeah, kind of similar.
I would love to take over 6 at -135. Love to take a shot with San Jose -1.5 at +560. But I guess I'll pass on both. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to talk you off a big dog like that, Pete. But
all right, I'll pass for now. Let's move on. Next game on the card, another big, huge home favorite, Carolina, Seattle against Carolina. But this is the exact opposite of the game we just talked about, because both the dog and the favorite have been shitting the bed in their past bunch of games. Seattle, 3 straight losses, all as a big favorite, right? Before that, they'd actually been playing well and winning. 3 straight, it might be just a little down spot for them, but not a good last 3 games for Seattle. And then Carolina off the shutout loss at Florida, which is forgivable, but they've lost 4 of 6. So now they're a massive favorite here, up in the high -200s. This one is going to be a pass because I don't know what strategy either of these teams are going to employ. And it's obviously a Carolina spot, but there's no way I can take them at this line. Pass for me. You got anything on this one?
This Seattle team there, I'm just looking at their schedule. They played I'd say 2 teams with a positive record. They lost to San Jose twice. Anaheim, they won 3-2, lost 5-2. Beat up on the Islanders, Chicago, Columbus, Nashville, who's not playing that well. So this team hasn't exactly been tested, and they can't score, too, from what I'm seeing here, Pete, on the road here. What do I have here? 12 goals, 23 against in 6 games in the last 30 days on the road. Taking some penalties, too, here, 9 minutes, 40 seconds penalties. That's not good. Going with it, a 68% penalty kill, too. 32% power play for the Hurricanes, 91% penalty kill, not taking many penalties. Still a really good hockey club. And then Kochetkov, Pete, he's been day-to-day, but it looks like he is starting tonight. Gonna have his first start in a couple games there. Martin, reason why I think they've lost some of those games, guys, is Spencer Martin. I was talking to Jimmy last night on the NFL stream, and he allowed 6 against Florida twice. 12 goals against Florida in 2 games. So they need to get Kochetkov back in net. And then DeCourt hasn't been bad. They can't score 5-on-5. 12 goals, 4-23 against, and then Carolina's scoring 36 in the last 30 days at home. That's in 8 games. So. I'm actually going to go with no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, plus 125 here. I expect this to be a slower game. That Seattle are going to struggle to score against this Carolina team. I would be very surprised if they get 3 in this game. Carolina coming off 2 really bad starts, getting their their ace back in net and Kochetkov. And then Seattle just struggling to score, struggling to kind of keep the puck out of the net too. But I'll trust them for the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds here, Pete, plus 125.
Okay, so wait, you took a no goal for either team?
No goal in the first 9. Yeah, no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds for either team, 0-0.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I was thinking, I don't know, maybe Carolina team total over 3.5 minus, 120 or so, but you think that's probably
Well, one thing I was looking at, I wanted to see if Vince Dunn was in or out, and this guy's finally haven't caught many Seattle games. He's in. Yeah, he's in. They're still because he's like their captain, I believe. He's a big guy that can move the puck for this team for Seattle. So sooner than later, I expect them to start playing better hockey. But yeah, they just haven't been able to put much together. But with Vince Dunn in, I trust them a little more defensively.
Man. All right. I'm going to pass on this one as well, although I would love to. Yeah, the line has moved in Seattle's favor a bit, which, is not a shock. It's down about 20 cents in Seattle's favor. Carolina minus 270 is just too high. Give me another pass for me. Next game on the card. You ready, Mr. Gokster? Vancouver, Minnesota. Vancouver playing great on the road, right? Won 4 of 5 on their current trip. Last 2 were in OT, but in general, they're playing well. This is the last game on this trip, I believe. And Minnesota, 3 wins, all's a favorite, but they were all very close. They're not really dominating. My sense was that, I guess it depends on who's going to be in for Vancouver, because Lankinen is just absolutely just playing great, top level on the road right now. And so if he's in, I'd be leaning under. If it's Silovs, then I would be leaning Minnesota.
Yeah, that's very well put. 10-0 on the road, Pete. 931 save percentage, 198 goals against. That's insane. I don't know how many people saw that coming from Lankinen. This guy's bounced around the NHL for the last few years, but playing well with Demko out. Gustafsson, top goal in the NHL. He's 5-3, Pete, at home, but 928. Both goalies have over a 925 save percentage if Lankinen does go. Goals against is pretty much 2 or below. So I would have a lean towards the under as well. But Canucks here on the last 30 days, home road penalties. This is the worst, well, next to the Blue Jackets, but 10 minutes, 45 seconds on average last 30 days penalties on the road. So Canucks are taking a little too many penalties here. It's the last game of a road trip. Feels like that penalty minutes could, if anything, go up. Last of a 6-game road trip. And then they got 5 or 6 coming up back at home. Minnesota here on the other side, pretty much healthy, coming off 3-2, 3-2, 1-0. This is teams that could win those 3-2, 3-2, like those lower scoring games, Pete. And that's against Nashville, Chicago, Buffalo, not bad opponents, but that's the style of hockey you want to see. You don't want to see a lot of these 5-4 like the Leafs used to do. It just doesn't work in the playoffs. So Minnesota's just at home, going to be a tough team to play against. Special teams, though, advantage Canucks, 25%, 82% penalty kill. They have been scoring too. I just think this is more of a spot play on Minnesota here. I expect Vancouver. They beat Buffalo 4-3, Detroit 5-4. Like I said, I don't like seeing teams winning like that. They've got to rely on a lot more of their offense than defense. So I think Minnesota are live here, plus 115 in reg. Yeah.
The line has moved in Vancouver's favor, which I guess makes sense when you look at their stark home road dichotomy. So you see, Vancouver just winning game in, game out on the road, getting a decent sized dog line against a non-elite team. I'm not surprised. In fact, wow, I didn't realize I knew they were like overvalued at home and a great bet on the road. I'm looking like, they lost to Pittsburgh. Before that, they only had 1 loss all year on the road to Tampa Bay, first road game of the year. Wow.
Yeah, they've been a good home team, and then even without the JT Miller, I've been really interested to see how they've been playing, and they've been solid here on that road trip without JT Miller. But again, 4-3, 4-3, 5-4 win. The one win against Boston 2-0, and then lost 5-4. So the over has been hitting a lot, and this isn't a team where you're going to see, I think, a lot of goals in Minnesota. So I think this game's going to fit more into Minnesota's game plan.
Philly Eagle Flyer, like in the first period and full game draws. Nate Dogg, like in Vancouver money line as a dog. I'm leaning Minnesota, but I guess I will pass as of right now. But I have a pretty heavy lean to Minnesota. I might bet that one later. All right, next game on the card, St. Louis and Winnipeg, right? Another very interesting one. Should be a bounce back spot for Winnipeg, but again, they're playing a team that is that has some life to them. They're off their first loss with their new coach. First game they won, and the second game as a big dog, I bet them again. I think I bet their team total over actually because he injected life into this team. Then their last game was okay. They got a loss. It was their first loss with him, but it was an OT loss. And Winnipeg, after winning game in and game out to start the year, they've now lost 3 in a row, lost 6 of 9. But, most of those were on the road. Actually, there's only one home game in that span, and they won that one. Winnipeg, the opposite of Vancouver, a very stark home-road dichotomy. They're unbeatable at home, at least so far. I don't want to fade St. Louis in their current state as a big dog, but I want to take Winnipeg here. Maybe team total over. What do you think?
This feels like with the new coach, Pete, accountable hockey is what I think Montgomery's going to bring here. Last 30 days bringing up these penalties this whole show. 6 minutes on the road here, penalties. That's good. That's top 10 here. So the Blues are playing good on the road. 10 minutes here. I know this is they play a lot on the road. The Jets have, but they've had 10 minutes of penalties at home here. 5-0 though, 31% power play. This is a team where if they make a couple mistakes, they can really they can make up for it with their offense. And then in net there, everyone knows Hellebuck. He's 8-1, Pete, at home, 929 save percentage. Binnington, though, 912 save percentage on the road, 2.53. Those are solid numbers. St. Louis still aren't scoring on the power play on the road, 9%. Buchnevich is also day-to-day. They're going to want Buchnevich in if they want some offense. Even Ehlers, too, day-to-day left winger. So a couple offensive players could be out as well. This feels like a lower-scoring game here. I'm doing no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, plus 110. But I wouldn't talk anyone off like a first period under, full game under, especially with the new way, the way Montgomery's been playing here. Let's see here. 4 of the last 5 have gone under the total. And then even Winnipeg, Pete, they've only had 1 over in their last 6 games. So coming off the long road trip too. They haven't won, but St. Louis is playing different hockey here with Bannister being fired. So give me the no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. And even I wouldn't talk anyone off on under.
All right, but you don't like Winnipeg as a big favorite and maybe the team total over. Not at all, right? Very tough.
I feel like that's kind of pushing it a bit, maybe. Yeah.
Right. St. Louis team total under, maybe 2.5. Is Hellebuck going to come in and just shut them down?
I kind of don't. I don't mind that. Special teams, they don't look like they're going to be doing much. Buchnevich does hurt them, I think, long term. And then the Jets at home, they've been solid. So I would like that one a little more. Teams will under on the Jets or on the Blues.
On the Blues, yeah, I could see Winnipeg winning at 4-3 though. All right, I'm gonna hold off once again, but definitely leaning Winnipeg and leaning, maybe St. Louis team total under, Winnipeg team total over. All right, next game on the card. Okay, I think I like something here. You tell me, Mr. Gokser. Columbus, Calgary, right?
My favorite game on the card.
I'm sorry?
My favorite game on the card.
Yeah, Columbus. Very impressive. They have been losing. They've now won 5 of 6. Nice feel to that team. Calgary, shitty team, right? They lost all 4 on their road trip. Now they're back home, though. They have won their last 5 home games, right? And I still consider them to be a generally shitty team, but they have some life to them at home. Columbus, not a shitty team. Maybe overperforming a little bit. This might be a buy low spot for Calgary combined with a sell high spot on Columbus. I was thinking Calgary, I was thinking over, and I was thinking Calgary team total over, and maybe first period over, but mostly Calgary team total over. What do you think?
Yeah, you read the script here, Pete. That's what I'm thinking too. I couldn't believe it. Columbus is playing unbelievable, but don't expect that to hold up too long. I think, guys, a couple on the road, but look at it. A lot of those are at home. When you get Merce Lincoln's at home, that's a bet on goalie. When you get him on the road, for the most part, against a team in Calgary that's lost 4 in a row, and on the other side, you got Wolf, a young goalie who you want him at home as well. 4 road games here. They lost all 4, but before at home, they beat Minnesota 4-3, Rangers 3-2, Islanders 2-1, Nashville 2-0. So this is a big home road discrepancy and Dustin Wolf, guys, for the Calgary Flames. Expect them to have a much better game here. Yeah, Columbus has been playing well. They're pretty healthy, missing Shinnikov, I believe it is. But I expect Calgary to have a bounce back spot here. Even first period minus 0.5. I don't mind them taking to be up in the first period on the puck line. But I took them in regulation, Pete, same as Minnesota. I got it at plus 110 on Calgary here. I just think the goaltending here, I would be very surprised if like Wolf gets lit up and Merzlikins only allows like 2 goals. I could see Calgary scoring at least 3 goals in this game tonight, at least.
Right. Okay. Well, I will make one official play for sure. Calgary -1 plus 118. I'd probably shop around and get a better line, but I'll just take that one for now. And I do also want to take the Calgary team total over. That you get 3.5 at plus 115. You could buy down to a 3 at like minus 150 or so. Feels like a big game for them, right? Calgary.
It does, yeah. I can't help it but say Calgary. But yeah, 31% power play too for the Calgary Flames at home here. 84% penalty kill, and then the Blue Jackets, Pete, 2-5-1 on the road. All those ones have been at home, guys. 10% power play for the Blue Jackets, 76% penalty kill. Special teams advantages with the Flames, and then those penalties I've been talking about. The Blue Jackets have had 11 minutes, 45 seconds minutes of penalties there on the road last 30 days. So they're taking too many penalties. Flames at home, 720. Everything screams here. The Flames bounce back, in my opinion.
All right. I'll be a little bit safe. I will take Calgary team total over. I'll buy down to 3 minus 150. Okay. But as we know, those 3s and 4s can be huge in NHL. And yeah, I also like, I also in my notes here, first period over as well. Just a straight first period over 1.5.
I would agree. Flames should jump all over them here. Quickly here, Wolf guys 7-1 at home, 942 save percentage, 1.85 goals against. Like this is one of the best goalies at home.
Well, that's not good for the over then necessarily in the first period.
Well, again, if you take like the Flames minus 0.5 on the puck line plus, I don't know, 160, 140, 150, something like that. I would also like Pete. I would be very surprised if they don't jump all over this Blue Jacket team that's feeling themselves a little too much, I expect. Yeah,
I mean, Wolf, you look at what he's done at home. He can really shut some people out, you know. Look at that at home. Yeah, I'm not going to take that first period over. It might be 0-0 after the first period. He might shut these people down.
Yeah, and I don't see Merzlikins shutting this Flames team out. He doesn't. I like to see if he's had a shutout on the road in his career. Not a good road goalie.
In the meantime, I just saw Winnipeg jump up to about minus 210 or so. So that's interesting. Market move in favor of Winnipeg. All right, I'll just stick with those 2 plays for Calgary. And here we go. Last game on the card, Edmonton and Vegas. And Razor Sharp Picks told us at the beginning of the show, don't even bother capping NHL. 1 play, Vegas first period over. Vegas first period is 10-2 to the over so far this year, according to Razor Sharp Picks. And Vegas is off a shutout home loss to Utah. That was a little bit of a tough spot. They had a tough road trip. Then they came home, played a tough game against Winnipeg, which they won. And then they were just in a down spot against Utah, and they got blown the F out. Edmonton, tough start to the year, but they've now won 3 in a row. They're starting to win again. So I don't necessarily love fading them, but I was thinking that Vegas as a home dog to bounce back worth a shot. Vegas team total over maybe. And Razor Sharp Picks tells us that first period over is worth a play. And Irish King 97, he likes Vegas first period minus a half goal and Eichel to score at any time. Well, you got anything on this one?
I don't have anything on this one, but the more everyone's talking about the first period over, it makes some sense to me coming up that loss. Quickly here on this game, both teams are not taking many penalties. It's the injuries, though, for the Oilers. They're a slight favorite, which is kind of surprising to be honest. Like, they don't have Arvidsson, who's been out for a while, but Hyman now is out for the Oilers from what I'm seeing here, and Kane as well. Going to be tough against this Golden Knights team, who do have a back-to-back tomorrow at Anaheim. Hill's been 6-1 at home, Pete, but he's got an .879 save percentage and a 3.24 goals against. So the goals have been coming in, but the Knights have just been able to match them and win games at home despite allowing a lot. So, the Golden Knights, though, 12 goals for, 22 against, and 5 games at home. So they do need to start scoring a little more in the last 30 days, though. It's going to be a no play here. Tough game to cap. I know these two teams also played in the playoffs there. So a couple of years ago, it's always a good battle.
Is Edmonton good defensively or something? Like, am I missing something? I mean, Skinner. Yeah, he's good. He's good. How good is he?
Skinner is he's a tough cap. I don't know if I'm going to get good Skinner or bad Skinner. He's a streaky goalie, I would say. When he's playing well, that's when you want to take Skinner. When he's Jekyll and Hyde. It's you're Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what you're going to get. So
Yeah.
Defensively though, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, who's back there, Kulak, Emberson, Stretcher. Their defense isn't bad. It's not unreal. It's just I wouldn't say as deep as some other teams. The Oilers.
All right, I'm going to take Vegas as well. Team total over 2.5 minus 160. Looking at the site right now. Could probably shop around, get a little bit better. Vegas, team total over 2.5 minus 160. I'm taking it, Gogi.
Let's go. Bounce
I'd
back.
also be leaning Vegas on the money line. That might be a mistake, but I think I like it. And Irish King like in Vegas first period minus a half. And, of course, Razor Sharp picks like in the first period over, which makes a lot of sense. I'll certainly tail that, but I'm not going to add it.
The more I'm thinking about it, Vegas does make some sense here. Yeah, they got the back-to-back at Anaheim, but I don't see them laying another egg against an Oilers team that, playoff team. So
Philly Eagle Flyer says, yep, first period 1.5 auto play. Also on first period, both teams to score. Vegas money line. And Nate Dogg likes Edmonton. There you go. McDavid to score. Kelly McInnes like in the under in the Calgary game, 3-1. That'll be all right. I'll push my team total and win the -1 play. And let's see. What else do we got? Shout out to Rem Most. Yeah, Rich H and the Gaudreau family at the game.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, wow, I just thought of that. So, yeah, you got wow, that's huge. So, yeah, Columbus is Monahan's going to be there. Well, that's going to put a little different wrench into that game. But, yeah, I know I didn't think of that. Wow.
Philly Eagle Flyer talking about the Winnipeg game, likes a team total under. Buchnevich is a big loss. All right, I will throw that one on. That's the way I was leaning. I'll chuck that one on there as well. I'll take that one. Let me add that one on there. St. Louis team total.
I like
that. Tough one. Under 2.5. It's going to be a bit of a favorite, but that's okay. Let me see. -134. I'm sure I could shop around and get a 130. I'm sure I can do that. I know I can. Let me see. There we go. I'm not going to name the book, but I just found it. 130. I'll just stick with that. Team total. St. Louis team total under 2.5 -130.
Love it.
All right, we capped the whole friggin' card.
That was fun.
Let's review. Go ahead.
That was good. Nice little hour-long show. It's been a while. It was fun.
Yeah. Joseph Gomez says Hard Rock has it juiced -175. Yeah, I just I'm not lying here. Vegas team total over 2. I had a reputable book that won't limit you too fast. -160. So that's the line I'm taking here. All right, let's review Mr. Gogster. Yeah. I'll review my plays officially. Then you review your plays officially. Then I'll just scan over the games one more time and shout out the notes and the leans, and then we'll move on. Officially, I got Detroit Boston under 6 -114. If Boston reverts to what they were doing before, that'll cash easily. If not, that'll be a loser in the second period. Islanders team total under 3.5 -155. I want to take Montreal. Could easily see Islanders winning 3-1, and that will cash. Calgary -1 +118, and Calgary team total over 3 -150. Vegas team total over 2.5 -160, and St. Louis team total under 2.5 -130. I got a lot of leans, but those are my only official plays as of right now. Mr. Gokster, please review your official plays.
Love the picks, Pete. I'm on Kraken Hurricanes, no goal, first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, +125. Avalanche Sabres, both teams to score in the first period, +140. I'm on the Red Wings in the first period as well. Money line, +140. Some more plus money. Panthers, Penguins, some goals, first period, both teams to score, +150. And both teams to score 3 goals, another bet, +180. The old no goal, first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, Blues, Jets, +110. And a couple regulation bets, 3-way. I'm on Minnesota +115, and then Calgary regulation +110.
All right. And then again, just to review everything, Skunt Bag play of the day. He likes the Sabres at +125. That's moved a little bit in the opposite direction, which is not a huge shock, I guess. They're up to 130 or so. San Jose, God, I would love to take the -1.5 at +560 or the over 6 in that game at -135, but I'm gonna pass on those. Definitely leaning Minnesota at -130. 135 or so, but it's the last game of the road trip for Vancouver. I want to take Minnesota there, but I guess I will pass. And I think it was Nate Dogg 420 who likes Vancouver on the money line, and I also like Winnipeg. Yeah, I do like Winnipeg. Now that it's moved in their favor, right? Maybe I'll double up, but I took the St. Louis team total under, and yeah, I guess that's about it. Florida Pittsburgh is very interesting. I was thinking maybe under, but Gogi talked me off of that one. Seattle, Carolina, who will bounce back? Probably Carolina, but can't lay the number. All right. That's about it.
Right
What's
on.
your biggest lean that you haven't given official, but you really would love to take if you had any balls?
Oh, that's a good question. Biggest lean that I'd like to give out would be on probably. You know what? I didn't get this one out yet, but if Buffalo is going to win, it's going to be a higher scoring game. So I did first period both teams to score plus 140. I would full game over feels live in that one too, between the Avalanche and the Sabres, and even this Sharks one, man. I wouldn't be surprised if either the Sharks win like 3-2 or something, or they're going to lose 5-1. It's going to be one of the two. So.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to take that one -1.5, but I do not have those kinds of balls publicly. Privately, sometimes I do. All right, we got to keep a brisk pace here, Mr. Gokster. Great segment. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Wait. Before you go, Mr. Gokster, we have a question from Rem Most. He says, Mr. Landline, do you like the over in Coachella and Henderson tonight?
Coachella and Henderson. I didn't have a chance to quickly look at that game yet. Coachella and Henderson. Henderson's been really bad this year. I would be leaning towards Coachella probably in that game. I was actually looking at Cleveland and Milwaukee. I kind of want to take the over. Both those teams have been able to score, and they've had at least 6 goals in the last 2 games played this year. So kind of lean to the over in Cleveland, Milwaukee in the HL.
All right, beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Gokster. All right, there he goes.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Really backstage, we got to burn some seconds.
No, we have to burn a second or two, but he is backstage ready to go. He's just probably taking a crap real quick here, Pete. But let me give you a little morsel here, Pete. I'll give you a little NBA for you here. San Antonio Spurs tonight play a very important game against the Phoenix Suns. The Spurs have not had an important game in quite a while. They're not a playoff team. They're a team, a bunch of young bucks, and we all know that the young players in the NBA Cup come out and play because they want that money. So I'm going to hope and pray, and I'm going to take the San Antonio Spurs plus 7.5 here tonight. And I hope they can win outright because this is a big game in NBA Cup wise, like I said. But I think that's just simply too many points, Peter Loshak. Too many points.
Well, something weird's going on with that game, Jose Bouquett, because the 6 was seen as not enough by the market. The first line I saw, I think it was 6. I don't know exactly where it opened, but the first line I saw was 6, and I was quite surprised to see that it jumped up to 7.5. I can't really explain that. I think Billy Brisbane will be able to explain that, at least give a nice thought about it or two, maybe people from the comments section, but a clear market move as of right now in favor of Phoenix. Jose Bouquett, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, and it's concerning because 58% of the bets and 56% of the money is on the Spurs, so that's a little worrisome, but I'm still riding with the Spurs here, Pete. I'm still riding. And by the way, shout out to Rez Mob in here saying this is the inaugural Respect Pod. Shout out to you, Rez. As Georgia team total over 74.5 minus 120 there in college basketball. Right. Thank you, Rez. And with that, let's bring on our guy, the one, the only, Billy Brisbane to the program. Billy, nice to see you, my man.
Sorry about being late. I'm going to run to the bathroom there.
Billy Brisbane, everything good?
Yeah, everything is beautiful, man.
That's what I like to hear because we got 11 games, Billy Brisbane. All of them in-season tournament games. All of them although there's a few things I think I'm liking. One bet that I did make that has moved in my favor. We're going to cover all 11 of them. Fascinating spots. And we'll see what you and the comments section have to say about it, including that friggin' Spurs game where the line has moved 1.5 against the Spurs, despite how well they've been doing ATS recently. But that's going to be in half an hour from now because we're going to cover a bunch of games earlier. Before that, let's start with Philly-Charlotte. Billy Brisbane. Philly off a big win at Detroit. Before that, they've been bad, ATS all year long, but that was a bad spot for Detroit. It just wasn't a good scheduling spot for them. So I don't know how much credit we give Philly for that win. And Charlotte, you see it every year in the NBA, losing straight up, game in and game out, but covering ATS, game in and game out. Charlotte, 1-6 straight up in their last 7, 6-1 ATS in those 7. Both teams have a lot of injuries. They're all kind of banged up. Again, Philly's just not been good. I was surprised to see the line, Charlotte +5. I thought that was a play. What do you think?
Yeah, with both teams eliminated, we could definitely see both of these kind of come both of these teams come out in a flat spot. For the Hornets, they're going to be without LaMelo, Bridges, Trey Mann, and Grant Williams. Essentially, they're going to be without 4 of their top 5 scorers on their roster. The Hornets have shown resilient effort, coming up just short in their last 2 bouts. I'm kind of leaning towards more the Philadelphia side to make more plays at the end, but it kind of seems like the total is more appealing than the side, because both teams are dealing with injuries to their star players, and neither team particularly plays at too fast of a pace. Drummond being out for the Sixers is probably going to give them the size front court non-disadvantage that the Hornets are used to from night in and night out. So it's probably a toss-up on the side. I kind of like under on the total, but I didn't move on anything because the things that I like the most on this game aren't even available in the sports books. The 2 player props that I'm looking at would be Tajon Saloon, the rookie 19-year-old French kid. He was a early draft pick. He had a bad shooting game in his last game, but prior to that, he had 14 points and 17 points. He was hitting some threes. His 3-point prop was 1.5. The last time that they had his player prop up on the book. And then the other one was Moussa Diabate. God damn, I don't want to bet his double-double, but he's like getting like almost double-digit rebounds in all these games that he's starting in. So he's been starting since November the 21st, and he's had 16, 11, 8, 11, 11, 8 rebounds. So if his rebound prop is anywhere around 8.5 or 9.5, I'll probably be taking that as well. But we'll. I don't know if they'll offer it or not, Pete. I mean, you get users. I mean, both of these guys are kind of like cornerstone pieces for the Hornets franchise. I don't know why they're not offering their player props. Maybe if you wanted to go Tyrese Maxey over on his points prop, I wouldn't blame you. He's gone over 7 out of 11 of games without Joel Embiid on the court, and he has massive volume in these games. He's taken about like 23 field goal attempts in these games, and he's been smashing against the Hornets. And then the only other player prop I would look at that's available in the Hornets would probably be Vasilije Micic, but goddamn, man, his assist prop was just at 4.5 on Saturday, and now it's at 6.5 at plus money. So I feel like you're kind of like buying the ass end of the line.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw it. I was like, anything can happen in this game. So why should Charlotte be that big of a dog, especially in light of how much they've been scrapping recently? And it's down to 4 now. I'd still like it at 4. No?
Both teams are eliminated. So like out of the 14-game basketball card, why am I betting on 2 teams that probably don't give a fuck about this game?
Yeah, because Charlotte seems like they kind of do, man. I don't know. All right, I will.
They can give a fuck about the game. It's just they kind of actually really do suck right now, Pete.
I know.
4 out of 5 your top scorers. You don't even know who Vasilije Micic is. And
in your opinion, you would not apply that label to Philly right now?
No, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Jerry McCain are out there. Jerry McCain is like leading odds for Rookie Player of the Year. Paul George hasn't played that bad, and Tyrese Maxey's been looking just fine. I mean, like, that's enough for me compared to.
All right, yeah, I will.
Josh Green and Cody Martin. It's like, and Brandon Miller and all that. I get it. Like, the line looks appealing. Like, sports betting market odds would tell you the Charlotte Hornets would be the side, but fuck that. Too many players are out, and when I really look into the lenses of this game, I mean, if there is a team that probably cares more, is it the team that is at the bottom of the Eastern Conference and is getting shitted on in every fucking media thing that you see on ESPN, or the team that's out their star player for the next 3 weeks up until Christmas and probably don't give a fuck about any of these games and don't mind tanking again?
Oh, you're right. That is an overlooked handicapping factor. Who's getting shitted on? You're absolutely right, in the media. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card, Washington-Cleveland. Cleveland, of course, a huge favorite. Washington can't buy a win. Awful ATS as well. They did get a cover in their last game. And Cleveland, beat Boston in their last game after losing twice in a row to Atlanta. So Cleveland's coming off the Boston game. Maybe is it a letdown for Cleveland? Maybe Washington first quarter. I don't know. You tell me, Brizzy.
This game was one of those ones where it was like top 4 or top 5 for highest totals on the board for the day today. On paper, it has all the makings of a shootout. I don't think the components of the Wizards roster is enough to win this game, but it could be enough to push the Cavs for 3 quarters, and that's kind of what we just need here for the total. Even though both teams are theoretically eliminated, the point differential can make all the difference here, hence why I'm kind of pushing towards the over on the total. And the betting trends for this game kind of all tell me the over as well. The over is 24-11 in Cleveland's last 35 home games and 17-6 in Washington's last 23 road games. While I think the Cavs will win this game, I definitely think there could be some defensive lapses for them.
Yeah.
The biggest win of the season being on Sunday versus Boston, and then a sandwich spot meeting on Thursday versus Denver here. This screams like an over.
Yeah, the line has moved down a bunch of points, although that could easily go back up by tip-off. And you would think that maybe trying to, sneak a little unit in there by taking Washington first quarter would be ill-advised. What do you think? 5.5.
It's just not my betting style.
Right. It's smart.
It's just not my betting style. Like, when you look at this game, the biggest thing that stands out is that it's like you ask yourself, how bad are the Wizards really?
Real bad.
3-12-1 ATS versus teams with a above 500 record, and 2-5-1 ATS as a double-digit underdog. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
the Cavs 6-0 straight up, and 4-2 ATS is double-digit favorites. I mean, like, I feel like the writing's on the wall. They need to win by point differential. The public's going to look at this and be like 16.5 in basketball game. Yay! No. The Cavs are probably going to cover this.
I wish I could get like Washington plus 2.5 first 90 seconds or something like that.
Let me look at something real quick, P. I wonder what the Cavs team total over is. It's probably like 120.
Yeah, it's let's see. Well, at this book right here, it is 125.5. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
go ahead.
I think you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and just bet the over. Like where's this at on FanDuel? Because I'm about to write these plays down. I haven't officially bet anything yet because it's a Tuesday.
No, I hear it. It does have overwritten all over it, doesn't it? It really does. At least first half, or no, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Like, the Cavs need to win by a certain amount of points. If there's a team in the league that is going to allow you to win by a certain amount of points,
right?
It's just like feels weird to ask the Wizards to put up points. I think that's where you could get let down. But at least Jordan Poole's in the fucking game. I mean, goddamn, that dude's never seen a shot he doesn't like.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and I think Cleveland will ease up on defense a little bit. I'm just gonna make one play here. I'm gonna make it official. Washington, Cleveland, first half over 119 minus 113. That's at a book I'm seeing. Could probably find 110, but I'll just take that minus 113 first half over. We'll see how it goes. I don't like the line move, but then again, could easily go back the other way by tip.
Yeah, I gotta fuck around with this game a little bit more, but let me write this down now. Cleveland.
Yeah. Billy Friedrich advising me to sneak my unit in there, not in 2024. In 2005, yeah. But softer lines back then.
Facts though, Pete. I definitely feel like sports betting used to be like, let me go in the book, throw a couple bets. Now it's like you gotta look at the shit like you're buying a fucking stock. You gotta look at the market. You gotta look at the script. You gotta look at the player. It's like everything, man. It's crazy how crazy competitive sports betting has become, and with all the sports books being legal in certain states now the markets are so competitive where you want to look at what the fuck you're betting on before you look at the market and stuff like that, because you'll see a 4-point discrepancy in some of these lines.
Man, in 2004, you could sneak units all over the place. Those were the days, baby. All right. Oh, wow. Justin McAfee stacks play of the day. The Cavs game over 235.5. There you go. Very, very nice. I predict this will fly. I make a lukewarm prediction that this will be back up to 237 by tip, maybe even 238, 7.5. We'll see. All right, let's move on. Billy Brisbane, Milwaukee, and Detroit. Milwaukee won 6 in a row, just 3-3 ATS in those. All but one was at home. Now they're back on the road. Detroit got pounded by Philly in their last game, but that was not a good spot for them. And before that, though, they had lost 6 of 7 ATS. Of course, they started the year great ATS. And the big thing here is that, they are 3-0, Detroit, in the NBA Cup. And they want to get a win here. They rolled Indiana on Friday. They got that one. Big win there. Then they lost to the Sixers next game. And now here they are, fully motivated. The only issue is I'm assuming that Milwaukee is just as motivated. Detroit is a small home dog here. Total's about 222.5. I was thinking maybe over, but then I saw it dropped a couple of points. I don't know, man. Detroit really wants this, but I guess Milwaukee does too, right, Brizzy?
Yeah, man. This is such a hard game to cap because the last time that these two teams played, it took till overtime to decide the result. And the Pistons have been undefeated during this Emirates Cup run. Yeah. Beating Miami, Toronto, and Indiana. However, though, I do have concerns if they can even stop or contain Giannis, because the last time that they played, Giannis had 59 points, and that was his highest total of the season. Detroit has looked great during pool play, but some of their unfortunate luck head-to-head versus Milwaukee just haven't been well. Like, Pete, some of these numbers are fucking crazy. The Pistons have lost 22 out of their last 23 meetings head-to-head versus the Bucks dating back to the 2018-2019 season. Milwaukee hasn't been able to string together these wins, but they have been able to string together these wins, and they're looking for their 7th win in a row tonight. And the trends make you kind of want to bet the under here, as Milwaukee's gone under the total in 11 out of 19 games. And the Pistons have gone under the total in 13 out of 22 games this season. Still, though, head-to-head wise, 7 out of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone over the total. So my heart tells me I want to bet the Pistons, but goddamn, these stats are telling me the Bucks are fucking in this game.
It does have live betting and halftime betting written all over it. And, yeah, the total has dropped down, but the halftime total is significantly more than 50% of the full game total. So that's interesting right there, right?
So this screams like a Bucks team total over.
Yeah. Man, I really do not know.
Because if the Pistons win this game, they're going to have to score. Cade Cunningham's going to have a game here. If you're looking for a player prop in this game, it's probably Cade Cunningham.
And there you go. Stacks play of the day, number 2, Cade Cunningham, over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists at plus money. There you go.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm looking at this right now. The Bucks have been a elite matchup for guards. Cade's last game against the Bucks, he had 35, 7, and 11 in November. Brogdon, LaMelo, and Fred VanVleet have all went over the PRA line in the last couple of weeks. He's gone over his PRA line in 11 out of his last 18 games, averaging 39.7 PRA. Yeah. But they'll write that down. Yeah, Cade's going to have a good game in this game. It's funny. Yeah. Preston said the same exact thing to me last night. He said Cade's assist prop. If you look at the sports books, damn, he's been averaging 19.9 field goal attempts per game, 19 plus field goal attempts in 10 out of 18 games so far this season.
Yeah.
Over in 24 out of his last 30 home games with an average of 20 plus field goal attempts, averaging 28.2 points per game. Over in 16 out of his last 20 home games. This is crazy. Yeah, no, you guys are right. And then if you look at Milwaukee, Milwaukee's allowing the most points to opposing point guards this season with an average of 28.3 points per game. Point guards this season versus Milwaukee, Brogdon, or in the last month, Brogdon 29 points, LaMelo 50 points, Fred VanVleet 26 points, Darius Garland 39 points, John Morant 26 points, Dennis Schroeder 29 points. Yeah, it's a good prop. I'm already.
Yeah, well, I believe here, Skunk Blaster, Charlotte Live Dog, I'm on +4.5 and Moneyline +160. I might add that. It does feel like if you take Charlotte and Detroit money lines, one of them is going to win, right? Feels that way. Really does.
It's just like out of a whole entire 14-game NBA Cup card, fuck you betting on teams. The fuck you betting on two teams eliminated for? Like you're betting on two teams that like what?
Yeah.
But it's just like, nah, I'm not doing it. There's 14 games on an NBA card. I'm betting on the teams that actually give a fuck and need these games.
Yeah.
If anything, I like the fucking under, man. Like,
No, I was thinking that way too, but it's a low total. Got bet up 2.5 points, although we'll see where it closes. All right. Detroit Milwaukee has
people see a 209 total and they're like, oh, the NBA 209. Whoa. It's just like it's 209 because look at the fucking who's starting for these.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like
No, I know.
The game goes over is a match. He has like a 50-point game. And like, that could happen. That could definitely fucking happen.
I mean, you could get OT. All right, yeah. Well, and this Detroit game to me, it has live and halftime bet. Look for those written all over it. Pre-game, I'm going to pass. Next game on the card, very interesting one. Here we go. Orlando, New York. Brizzy, get your notes ready. This is a hell of a game right here. Orlando, 12-1, straight up, and ATS in their last 13 games, getting a whole bunch of points from the Knicks, who crushed the Pelicans last game. But in general, they've been a bit subpar ATS all year long. And, this is a big game for the it matters. They're playing for I think it's the quarterfinal berth, right? There must be something I'm not getting here. How's Orlando getting all these points from the Knicks in light of how they've been, in light of the spot, the situation, and how the two teams have done ATS over the past month?
To be honest, GP, I am on the other side here.
You like the Knicks?
I kind of like the Knicks here. This is a marquee matchup of the day, as East Group A was kind of thought of as the hardest group when they first announced these brackets and stuff like that. But after some injuries to the Sixers and the Hornets, end up being one of the easiest groups. The Magic and Knicks are both undefeated in group play this season, and the Magic coming in hot, winners 6 straight coming into this one. Digging deeper into their win streak, though, some of their defensive numbers and strength of competition are concerning, as they've led up 119, 118 points to the Bulls and the Lakers, who are probably the best two teams that they played throughout this little streak. Feels like the Knicks can match up with them with their wing depth and some of the best defenders in the league of OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and then you have Karl-Anthony Towns down low. This is going to be one of the biggest games of the season for the Magic, as they don't get a lot of national TV games, but the Knicks are a type of team that would love to win an advance in the NBA Cup. They're kind of still building their identity for the season. I think this would be a monumental win for them. I kind of like the Knicks here in this game.
Sure. It's a look, if it was Pick'em, I'd be like, yeah, and I hope you cash. But how do you give the Magic 4.5, 5 points in this spot?
I don't blame it. Like, I'm not one of those people that caps the game of the number and this, that, and the third. I'm just betting on who the fuck I think is going to win the game. And when you look at Orlando Magic, I mean, goddamn, 6 straight wins, but 2-5 ATS as a road underdog tells you everything you need to know. Like the Magic are beating the two teams that they beat on the road are like, we're like the corpse of like the teams of like they're playing like the Suns without like no fucking KD, no Bradley Beal, no Nurkic. It was like Mason Plumlee starting. Like the Magic. I don't know, man. I feel like the Magic are about to get punked out tonight. No. If Paolo was in this game, I'd bet this shit out the Magic. But throughout this little streak, they've been lucky and shit. But let's go back to the beginning. When Paolo first got hurt, and they were getting blown the fuck out by these actual decent teams and good teams off the court and stuff like that because they couldn't put up enough amount of points. Then they get the nice little soft, easy matchups and the schedule, cupcakes, and they're winning the games that they're supposed to win. Now they're going to go into the spot It's a huge game for them as they don't get a lot of national TV games, but they're going to need Paolo for this one, man. The Knicks, I think the Knicks are locked in, man. This is a big Knicks spot for them.
Yeah. No, you're right. The last game as a road favorite was against the Lakers, 5-point dog. They won that one outright. But you're right. Earlier in the year, all of their road dog lines, they were getting smoked. Well, three of them. Not quite smoked, but beat down. Yeah. Wow. So you think the Knicks outclass Orlando, huh? They just outclass them as a team.
Yeah. The only thing that's like making me hesitant to bet it is because betting bias. I don't know if it's the last time that these two teams played, but it's the last time that I bet on these two teams. Orlando went up to New York on Martin Luther King Day, and dog, that was a fucking dog fight, man.
Right.
It was kind of the same situation as today. Paolo was out for that game. Everybody and their mom was betting New York. Orlando took them to the dog fight. Franz was on his Franz shit. He wasn't really scoring, but he was passing and shit like that. And New York had like the crowd going and all that. It's like an afternoon game in New York. Like it's probably the cheapest time to ever go to a Madison Square Garden game. So, the crowd's pretty ruckus. And New York ended up coming back late in that game and winning. I got to look at what the score was of that game and what my bets were of that game. But, man, that's like the only thing that's like holding me off a little bit. Where's this game? It was 98-94. Actually, Orlando ended up winning that game as a plus 5.5 point underdog. That was at Madison Square Garden. That was 2 times ago. So that was a while back.
That's what I was thinking about under. Okay, I'll make one play official right now. First half under 109.5 minus 110. That's a market line. First half under 109.5 minus 110. I was also leaning Orlando first half plus 2 and full game plus 4.5 plus 5. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe they've just been playing relative cupcakes, and the Knicks in a big game like this will bring it.
If you like Orlando, I would bet Orlando. I mean, what if you think Orlando's too many points? I would take Orlando. Like, this is literally a coin flip of a basketball game. I don't blame you of the aspect of like this screams like one of those type of games that the public doesn't pay up for the money line and they pay up for the spread. The Knicks end up winning outright. They'll lose on the spread.
All right, I'm just going to take the first half under 109.5 minus 110. This also might have live or halftime betting written all over it, but we'll move on. Here's another one, baby. Here's another one. Pacers and Toronto. Indiana 0-7-1 ATS in their last 8. They've won some of those straight up, but clearly overvalued recently, and the Raptors have been covering. So now you have the Raptors who are, the game is roughly pick 'em. I saw them as a 1-point dog, and it's moved in Indiana's favor, where the last move I saw was in Indiana's favor. They were like a 2.5-point favorite. Both these teams are out of the tournament. They're both 0-3, and I don't know. It just seems like RJ Barrett and the Raptors just have some mojo at home. And I'd be leaning towards them as a home dog against a team that's been overvalued like Indiana. But again, line has moved in Indiana's favor. What's your take on this one, Brizzy?
Yeah, I gotta scroll back up. This seems like a spot that I'm looking to avoid on the card, as it seems like I'm walking straight into the trap betting the Pacers within a possession versus one of the worst teams in the league. The Raptors haven't looked like the worst team in the league, though, winning 2 of their last 3 games. And the Pacers aren't really putting it together night in and night out, especially on the road, as they're having some injury depth problems to some key reserve players. It's kind of fucking everything up for them. Excuse my language.
No. Use the most appropriate language that you think describes what you're trying to say. What you're feeling.
Like a lot of their injuries it's just really showing in their bench unit. But I do have a player prop circled for this game. I just got to decide which one I want to bet, because like with the way the player prop market has really been shaping out, you really do have to decide one of the 3 categories or combine 2 of the 3 of like points, rebounds. Like you have to knock one of them off. of like you can't like it's very rare you're paying for somebody's PRA, and if it's a PRA, it's probably like a bench player or some shit like that they're not even like adjusting their line for one of the columns. But Pascal's points prop in a revenge game in Toronto kind of seems like a spot. He's gone over this line already versus the Raptors, and he's went over 3 out of 4 career games versus the Raptors. And this is a great spot for Pascal, I feel like. Toronto's allowed the 28th most power forward assists, so it could be points and assists. So I say I got to look into it a little bit more. It could be points and assists. It could be points, rebounds, and assists, but Pascal Siakam props.
Okay. Yeah. I was Moneyball says this 100% a coin flip. Oh, I think maybe he was talking about the Magic game. Moneyball says Raptors, Pacers has been dismal. That's what I was thinking, Moneyball, but do you have an explanation for why the line has moved? It's now 3. Pacers -3. If you have any reason, I don't have an explanation at all for that. If you do, please let us know what you think. And Moneyball says Pacers play 0 road defense. That's what I was thinking. Raptors team total over, but the totals also dropped. So I was thinking Raptors team total over, but the line's moved in Indiana's favor as of right now and towards the under. Both those, of course, could reverse by tip. Wouldn't be shocked at all if that happened. Justin McElvey likes the over, now at 238.5. He likes the Pacers, though.
To be honest with you, though, bro, I really, like, if you gave me a free bet on this game, it would have to be on, like, the Pacers. That's why I kind of want to bet the Pascal Siakam bet, because it's kind of like, if the Pacers win this game, it's probably because of Pascal Siakam. And if they lose this game, he's going to have to do a little bit more. It kind of gives you a couple of outs, but it's the Pacers for nothing for me, man. This is a very generous fucking line for 2 teams that are eliminated. And, like, you're basically getting Pacers at a pick-up against one of the worst teams in the NBA. Like, I'm going to avoid it because I'm not trying to have fucking 20 bets on my –
No, I hear you.
But – God damn, man. Tell me something I don't know. What the fuck are the Raptors doing within a possession against anybody in the NBA?
I don't know, bro. They beat Indiana in November. They beat them at home by double digits. Look at that.
Yeah, but what makes I don't know, motivational wise,
you're right.
Indiana's got to come in here motivated. I mean,
yeah.
You get your ass busted by Detroit by like 20 plus points.
And then again by Memphis.
You're up by double digits against Memphis and end up losing that.
No, you're right.
Now you're coming into Toronto. I mean, like, God damn, man, you got to get it. These are one of those ones where, like, it doesn't matter if this was a cup game, a game in the gym, if there was a game with 5 people in the stadium or 5 million people in the stadium. Like, the Pacers might be locked in tonight.
You're right. And the line movement scares me, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to pass. My initial leans were Toronto and the over. It's moved in Indiana's favor and the under. And Billy Brisbane is leaning at Indiana as well. Interesting stuff here. All right, next game on the card. This is one that I did bet, and it's moved in my favor, although I didn't check the recent move. Utah and OKC, right? Utah lost covered against the Lakers in their last game. They're terrible. They do get covers here and there, though. And OKC, of course, off the loss at Houston. They're coming back off a road trip. They were playing well on that road trip before the loss at Houston, and I like the under, even though it was a low total at 224. Last I saw was 222.5, and let me see where it is now. 223.5. Okay, I think I'm liking the under here. I think OKC will come in and at least the up a bit. Utah isn't any great shakes offensively, right? I think I like first half and full game under. What do you think, Brizzy?
Yeah, I don't have anything like officially written up because I'm not going to overthink this one. We've kind of been hitting these. I wish they had more available markets. They probably will come up later on in the day, but I think when I was on the show with Jose last Wednesday, we talked about this. OKC money line and the under as a sim game parlay. It's under the total parlays on FanDuel. I would probably wait a couple hours though, because with those type of parlays, I don't mind paying the -120 juice to move the total 4 points. Like that might be all you fucking need in some of these basketball games. Like,
Yeah,
how
sure.
many times do you see some of these basketball games like fall like 1 or 2 points like around where the total was supposed to finish? So, I kind of like manipulating it a little bit, but as of right now, as I'm writing this down, this is probably going to be one of the premiums that I'm going to send out today.
Okay.
Oklahoma City Thunder money line and the under. It's
All right.
224.5 right now, but I preferably would like to take that up to 228.5.
All right. I'm going to double up on this one. Hopefully it'll work out okay. First half under at a site I'm seeing right now, we got 110 minus 104. 110 minus 104, and the full game. Let's see what they're offering up here. 223.5 minus 109. I'll take that one. Full game and first half. Utah OKC under, and I won't bother shopping around, although I certainly could just for the purpose. Oh, there you go.
I forgot about
108. I'll take that. 108 is better than 109. I'll take that. Minus 108.
Forgot about these player props because I don't have them like written up like I usually do.
Mhm.
Walker Kessler is a name to circle for this game. I was talking to Mikey about this over the weekend. He's gone over 9.5 rebounds, and this is a great spot. He's gone over 9.5 rebounds in 4 out of his last 5 games. And head-to-head wise against the Thunder, he's going over 9.5 rebounds in 4 out of his last 6 games head-to-head wise against the Thunder. The Thunder are allowing the 28th most rebounds to the center position. And the 2 games that he didn't cover in were 8 and 9. So he basically missed it at the hook. And if you wanted to do points and rebounds, I wouldn't mind that as well. Some of the centers in the last month against the Thunder, Segun, 34 points and rebounds. Sabonis, 31 points and rebounds. Donovan Klinging, 19 points and rebounds. Basley, 20 points and rebounds. Daniel Gafford, 23 points and rebounds. Kessler leads the NBA right now in put back points. So if OKC gives up the most put back points in the league, you're basically getting like 2 or 3 right there, just like layup, rebound. And Isaiah Hartenstein, for as good as he played or is playing since his return from injury, Brian ain't got no size against Walker Kessler.
Yeah, that all sounds good. Wow, Steph Brasco, Jazz money line. Look at that. And I actually just found 224 minus 111 at a reputable book, so I'll take that one. 224 minus 111. A lot of great comments here coming in. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Billy Brisbane, another interesting one. Memphis, Dallas. Pass. This is going to be a pass for me, but I definitely am not going to pass on your analysis of this. Memphis off a big win. They've been great ATS for a while. I have bet them in a lot of those games. I'm kind of been riding that train. Dallas, I have not been riding. They've been awesome too, right? Last 9 games, 8-1 straight up and ATS. So 2 teams that have just been doing great ATS. Memphis getting a few points. First line I saw was 4. Super high total, 243. If you gave me a free play right now, and I don't know what you say, or what anyone in the comment section says, I'd probably chuck it on the first half over. I don't know, but 2 teams I don't want to bet against right now. What's your take on this one, Billy Brisbane?
In a weird way, I want to look at this real quick because I want to be on Memphis here in this spot, man. Memphis is fucking red hot right now. Memphis is looking good. They're coming in right now, winners 6 straight. The injuries to Morant and Smart were able to kind of build up their depth and their chemistry of their roster, and they're kind of one of their deeper teams in the NBA right now. Dallas was able to get back Doncic on Sunday night versus Portland. He scored 36 points, made 4 3-pointers in the game. Still, though, the Mavericks roster is kind of like depth-wise, kind of depleted with numerous amount of injuries. Even if Kyrie plays tonight or Clay or Lively, they're probably going to be limited in this one. I'm leaning towards over the total as well, as the Grizzlies are at the 3rd fastest pace in the league, leading the NBA in points in the paint. 7 out of the last 8 meetings for Dallas have gone over the total as well. And with Luka back, he'll be more than happy to play in an up-tempo game environment. This screams like a Memphis team total over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking overs in general. It was a high total, 243. Now I'm seeing it even higher at 244. The spread still at 4, hasn't moved much. And as I said, if you gave me your free play, I would have thrown it on the first half over or maybe just full game over. Yeah, it just makes me so nervous to fade Dallas, you know?
One player prop trend that popped out in this one is Desmond Bane's rebounds prop. He's averaging 6.4 rebounds per game this season and has had 5+ rebounds in 11 out of 14 games. And with no Zach Edey out there, that probably open up more rebound opportunities for him. And Dallas allows the 8th most rebounds per game to opponents. And this is a top 10 pace-up spot for both of these teams. So
yeah, interestingly, the first half total is significantly lower than 50% of the full game total, which is quite interesting.
I would want the second half because I can definitely see this game going into overtime. Like maybe that's why the total's so high. Like I think Memphis wins this game outright, man. I really do.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could certainly see it. Mally Mal says Memphis in better form. Give me the points. Moneyball says if Clay and Lively come in for the Mavs, that defense is going to be too much for the Grizz. Yeah. Wow. Another one of these small dogs. It seems like they're a candidate to win outright. There's like 5 of them. I bet you if you took all of them, like 3 of them win. Anyway, let's move on. Here we go. Game of the day. Line move of the day. Spurs.
Pete, I would circle the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are. How the fuck are Grizzlies 4-point underdogs against the Dallas Mavericks? If you just eliminated the 2 teams and you just put their stats, what they look like in the last 2 weeks, the Grizzlies have been like one of the best teams in the Western Conference.
What if Clay and Lively come in? Is that defense going to be too much for the Grizz?
Clay's feet are like cemented into the fucking ground, and Lively would be limited.
There you go. Moneyball, not considering the factor that Clay's feet are cemented into the ground. That's not good. That's definitely not good.
Have you seen Clay play basketball? He just does this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he does it.
Like, I mean, I'm not denying him. Anybody could go. We watched Ray Allen be like 42 years fucking old and save LeBron's fucking career in a fucking playoff game. Anybody can shoot the ball if you're wide open. It's just, you got to play the defense part of the game.
Yeah. I don't play defense like that, but he's the NBA player, so I defer to him. Okay, there you go. Certainly not going to tell him how to play defense. All right, next game on the card. Here we go. Brisbane. Now we got to get serious here. Spurs against Phoenix, okay? Our compatriot Jose Bouquett has bet the Spurs, which makes a ton of sense to me. I was shocked to see this line move further in Phoenix's favor. The Spurs have been winning, of course. Wemby is dominating, right? Triple doubles, this and that, playing like a guard, playing like a center, playing like all kinds of people. They have they're 5-1 straight up in ATS in their last 6, and they're covering by margins, right? Phoenix have a nice home win and cover against Golden State, who kind of sucks right now. Before that, though, they had been subpar, straight up ATS, clearly overvalued. And now they were given 6. Now it's up to 7.5. I was thinking, Spurs could easily win outright. Spurs first half, Spurs getting all those points, but something's going on here that I'm not aware of. Should Phoenix be 7.5-point favorites over the Spurs?
To be honest with you, Pete, I don't know why I always say to be honest with you because I wouldn't lie to you. But I really like the fucking Wemby prop. Fuck the side, but we'll talk about the San Antonio Spurs. I kind of like their team total over as well. This is one of the more surprising marquee matchups of the NBA Emirates Cup, as both San Antonio and Phoenix are 2-1 in Western play.
That's the other thing. The game mattered. So go ahead.
Thunder are tied with them at 2-1, but they faced the Utah Jazz in their last game, so they'll probably win that one. The Spurs could win the group with a victory over the Suns tonight, and the Suns can win the group with a win over San Antonio, but an OKC loss. Phoenix has won 2 of the last 3 games following a 5-game slide. They're going to be without Nurkic, as he will be reevaluated in about a week. And without his services and maybe Bradley Beal being out of the lineup too, Wemby's Olympic run has kind of transformed into this NBA season, and he looks like he's taken that leap step forward this season. The Spurs are looking for their 6th win in their last 7th game. Wemby is coming off a third career triple-double. He's now gone for 30-plus points in 4 out of his last 7 meetings, including a career 50-point game versus Washington. I think that was like a week and a half ago. The Spurs are more than live to win this game. They went 3-1 versus Phoenix last season, the first season with Wemby on the roster. Previous to that, Phoenix won 9 straight meetings head-to-head versus the Spurs. Without Nurkic down low, I really just don't see how they contain Wemby. Like, Wemby's about to go off.
Well, someone sees something because the line has moved in Phoenix's favor.
It's the public. The public doesn't give a fuck about the Spurs, but like real NBA heads that really watch the NBA night in, night out, Spurs have been looking really good. Hopefully they win this game, but I'll have my money on Wemby.
Man, this is a weird. I mean, I'm not sure what the public bet splits are in this one, but I would assume, I mean, that Wemby would be more of a public draw for money than like
bro, no bullshit, Pete. The general public, if you looked at their like basketball,
they're that stupid.
They're that stupid. Like their basketball tickets. We had the conversation the other week, Pete. You'll see like Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, like all these like Steph Curry, Zion Williamson, like all these black guys. And it's just like, why don't you have money on Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero's lighting up the NBA right now. Like, and you're Caucasian in the NBA. And imagine you can shoot the ball very fucking well. Europeans outside of Giannis and Jokic have not hit well for like transforming the market. And Wemby's not this like crazy big of a superstar in day-to-day American lifestyle.
He's not? Okay, maybe I'm out of touch. But
like, it's really wild because like he should be and he is and he will be, but like, hey, fuck it, let's just not tell everybody. Let's just make money. Like, how is Wemby's point prop 24.5, bro? He's gone over in 6 out of his last 7 games. There's no Nurkic out there. Who feasibly tell me the players or the player that is standing in front of Wemby tonight? Abu Guduo, fucking Kevin Durant. Yeah, like Wemby's gonna go off in this game. I feel like I'm not gonna overthink it because this is how I fuck around and break even on this game is betting the Spurs and betting the Wemby prop. Wemby goes off for fucking 30 and they lose the game by 8. Like,
yeah, sure. Well, Moneyball's got the Suns winning by 5. Okay, they cover. Moneyball likes the Spurs, although not super excited about it. Justin McElvey likes the Spurs. All right, I'll start with Spurs first half +4 -106. That's an official play. I guess I'll double up and take them +7. I mean, if the Spurs are down big at the half, I'm almost certainly going to be on them. I don't know what I'll do if the Spurs are up big at the half, and if I play Phoenix. But and you have any sense of the total here? Let's see. The total is like, has it moved? Not really. Right around 229. Not much of a movement at all. Almost no movement on the total.
I think if you're going to fuck around with the total, I would manipulate the side of the Spurs as the Spurs being underdogs. Their team total line is already going to be pretty low. So, AKA, if you're betting a team total on a basketball game, you're already getting good value betting the underdog team total because they're just manually adjusted lower as points. And if the Spurs win this game, they're going to fly over 111 points.
Yeah. They got scorched by Brooklyn and the Knicks at home.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm with you. I would that's why I say basketball is getting weird right now, Pete, where it's like
and that's saying something.
You think that you're going to be betting a spread and then like you really look at the game and it's just like, why should I bet a spread? If the Spurs have any shot of winning this game, I hope they would score over 111.5 points. I mean, like, if they're winning this game, they're going to have to put up at least 114.
Man, I miss the days of like 2004 when every friggin' Spurs game, the posted total was like 196. The fair line should have been like 188. You just hit the under every time and you'd cash. All right. I'm going to take the Spurs first half +4 -106 as an official play. And yeah, the Spurs team total over 110.5. I don't get it. Why is that not a good? Is that not a good bet? Is Phoenix because it's a big game? Is Phoenix going to viciously D up or something? Maybe they will. Yeah.
I feel like regardless of if the Spurs, then this is the sad part. The Spurs are going to fight for your money, and regardless if they win or lose this game, it's going to feel like they covered the line. And I don't want to be a part of it, man. I've been in too many Spurs bets where it's like they should have won the game or they should have covered. Yeah. The team total went way over, and they end up just getting smacked. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
All right. I'm gonna hold off on the total for now. Just one official play for me. Spurs first half plus 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Spurs team total over. Wemby's points prop, PRA, however you want to slice your dice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the way you do it nowadays, right, Pete? You stay off the spread, you take the team total, and you take the Wemby prop. Anytime there's a fucking Spurs score, you're rooting. Isn't that what you're probably gonna root for anyway? I mean, like it's kind of like plus EV, because if you have the player prop stars point over and the rest of the players can score, you're kind of like doubling up your money.
Yeah, look, that's why books are so scared of prop bets and why they're so quick to limit people to $5.38. Exactly the same with Nate McKinnon shot props last year with Colorado. They were just too low. They'd be 4.5 at whatever, and they were just too low for a lot of the year. Andrew G talking about, back when now we're up against El Capitan. I'll take him. I'll take on El Capitan with my gut feels. My gut feel tells me Spurs first half.
Computers.
I
would stay off the first half though, Pete, because in a cup game, ideally, if you're backing the Spurs in this game, the biggest cap would be who the fuck is stopping Wemby? And like
that I can answer.
Like that
I can answer. Yeah.
That I just don't see changing. Of like, you take off Nurkic and you're putting Palumbi, who's old and slow, or the 19-year-old kid that's never guarded anybody in his life, or KD, who's gonna play half-hearted ass defense. I feel like that comes out in the fourth quarter in the last 2 minutes when Wemby's just doing Wemby shit. Like I like the first half could just be so random. Like it could just be a game of runs. Like the Spurs don't show up for one of 4 quarters. I don't know what quarter that will be, so I don't want to have any involved.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Or like money line or anything. I just want them to score. And this marquee game of the day, 229.5 seems like a very generous total. If the Spurs are going to compete in this game, they're going to have to score.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see how this turns out. All right, next game on the card, Golden State, Denver. Golden State not doing well. 1-6-1 ATS last 8. I know that Coach Kerr is trying to give the veterans some rest, and now he's like, well, maybe I shouldn't give them that much rest. Denver, they're off a loss of the Clippers. They're a big favorite here, and I guess the question is Golden State going to mail it in here, or are they going to come into play even though they don't really have anything to play for as far as the tournament's concerned, just because they've lost 4 in a row straight up? If it were anywhere other than Denver, I might be thinking about that, but I don't know. I got to be thinking one way or another. I'm not going to take Denver money line, but hard to see Golden State winning this one outright, unless Kerr just puts all the stars in just to make a statement and they pull out a win that way. But leaning Denver and not sure about the total. What do you think?
I'm actually leaning the opposite side. I kind of like the Warriors coming in this one. They're 3-0 in pool play, and they've already secured their spot in the knockout phase. Usually that would mean it's a flat spot, but the Warriors come into this game on a 4-game losing streak, losses to Phoenix, OKC, Brooklyn, and while Curry was out for a lot of those games, he was able to get a game under his belt in the last game, and he only shot 8 for 21 from the field goal range and 3 for 10 from the three-point range. And the Nuggets have had the Warriors number with 7 consecutive wins dating back to the 2021-2022 season. However, 5 out of 7 of those losses were really close games in the fourth quarter, with the only average win margin being 3.8 points. So a lot of these games are really close. But I think more and more I look into this game, I'm just going to go with what's been paying me off this year, Christian Braun's point prop. Probably got points and rebounds. I gotta research his sister rebounds. I gotta add one of the categories to it. But definitely Christian Braun props. He's going over his point prop in 15 out of 18 games this season, averaging 15.9 points per game. 16.8 points per games at home prior to his last outing. So this is the reason why I really like it. Prior to his last outing, he scored 11 points. He went over this number in 13 straight games, Pete.
Yeah.
13 straight games up until that last game. If you look at the Warriors have just been terrible against shooting guards. Like it's been terrible. They're 27th in the league to allowing points to their shooting guard position. Christian Braun player, perhaps.
Okay. That sounds good. The line hasn't moved much. Half-point move in favor of Golden State. Small move to the under as of right now. Could bounce back the other way, of course. It's now 2:38, and I'm going to pass on this one. Next game is Houston-Sacramento. Now this was also weird. There must be some injury news or some personnel news that is changing this because Houston covering everything over the past few weeks. Sacramento can't buy a cover over the past few weeks. Houston was a very small favorite, and then they were a dog, and now the line is off. I'm seeing it at most places. Are you seeing a live line for this? I'm seeing it off at everywhere I'm looking right now.
Houston?
Oh no, there you go. There it is. Yeah, at one place, Houston plus 1.5 right now, but at some offshore places, the line is off.
But I don't know what line are you looking for. I have like 20.
Yeah, I'm seeing Houston plus 1.5 now. Oh, sorry, I didn't introduce the game, did I?
No. I've seen like 20 different books with this game.
Okay. Okay. One place I'm seeing has no line. All right. Yeah, now I'm seeing it. So Houston was a small favorite. Now they flipped to a small dog, right? About -2 was the first line I saw. Now it's like plus 1.5. Houston, of course, on fire ATS last few weeks. 10-1 ATS their last 11. Sacramento 1-8 ATS last 9. And again, this game, I believe, does mean something to the Rockets. They can sweep their NBA Cup pool, and that will give them the top seed in the quarterfinals if they win this one. So, why is the line flipped? Why is Sacramento now a favorite?
Let me write this down real quick. I'm just not gonna overthink this one. The Rockets first half spread. The Rockets are the third best first half ATS team in the NBA this season, going 14-7 ATS for the year and 8-2 in their first half ATS in our last 10 games overall. These two teams come into this game in different form, as the Rockets have won 5 of their last 6 games, and the Kings have just been on the opposite end of the form of just losing 6 out of their last 7 games played. While the full game spread is kind of fishy, it's hard trusting the Kings as they don't play defense. They've given up 115 points per game in their last 3 games. So that kind of kills any shot of me betting the fucking Kings in this game. But I don't think they're going to have any shot of slowing down this Rockets team. Total-wise, 7 out of the last 9 meetings head-to-head wise between these two teams have gone over the total here. I like the Rockets first half spread, and I like the Rockets over the total.
Yeah, I just can't quite understand or figure out why there's been such, as of now, of course, by tip, it could completely flip the other way. It often does, but why has there been such a strong move in favor of Sacramento?
Probably something with the injury news report. Let me check their injury news report. Is DeRozan back or something? They didn't. Yeah, DeRozan's back. Was he back the last game? No. Yeah, he was back the last game, though. Monk's in the starting lineup. I know they announced that, which is pretty big. I don't know why the game would move so much, but I like the Rockets first half spread. So I haven't really.
This is weird. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, usually I don't know what's going on with situations like these, and I don't like to admit it, and I just pretend like, oh yeah, I do that.
Though, Pete, because how many times do you see this in like different sports where a team is so good first half ATS wise that the full game spread just kind of looks fishy?
Yeah, saturated. Doesn't know either. Moneyball says Rockets win this game. Kings don't play defense. That's what I was thinking. When I saw -2, I was like, wow, of course I'm going to take Houston here. Why is this line so low? And then I saw it flip, and then I was like, what's going on here? Interesting stuff.
Yeah, I really like that Rockets first half spread in this one.
And I've been betting. That's one of the NBA things I've been doing right recently. I've been betting Houston and mostly winning with them. First half, full game, live, everything. Man, What's going on here?
There's not a whole lot to break down to this game. It's really a coin flip. I mean, like, I would bet the Rockets, to be honest.
All right.
I mean, like, what have the Kings have done? I mean, they've dropped 6 out of 7 in their last games, 9-12 for the season. Like, this kind of seems like a great spot for Houston, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it does, kind of. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna take Houston Rockets first half money line. I'm seeing plus 105 at a reputable book. Houston Rockets first half money line plus 105. We'll see where the line closes. It'll be very interesting to see. I'll definitely have my eye out for live bets and or halftime bets in this one. But I've been betting, Houston successfully, and I'll take another shot with it. Last game on the card, Billy Brisbane, Portland and Clippers. Portland off a high-scoring home loss to Dallas, but they were covering before that. Clearly undervalued and a good bet for a couple of weeks. Clippers, though, have also been covering over the past bunch of weeks. They've covered 8 of 9. I looked at this one, really don't have any opinion on this one at all. Both teams are still in the tournament, so the game does mean something to both of them. And I have no opinion, really. Clippers, of course, have started to play well at home. I don't know about 8.5 well, though. What do you have anything on this one, Brizzy?
Yeah, I kind of like the Clippers money line under parlay here. The Clippers aren't mathematically out of contention for this group play. It's going to come down to point differential, and the Blazers are second in the group right now at 2-1. They've had good cup showings, beating Minnesota and Sacramento, but I kind of like the revenge spot here for the Clippers as they're the better defensive team, and they should be able to dominate in the paint. As the Clippers are the second best team in the league when it comes to defensive rebounding, which is going to be crucial in this matchup. And the Trailblazers aren't the best shooting team either in the NBA. They've gone under in 7 out of their last 2. 7-2 in their last 9 games have gone under, and the Clippers are 6-3 to the under in their last 9 games played. So I like the Clippers money line under parlay. Probably got to wait a little bit because I don't know why the pre-package same game parlay is plus 175, but totals at 220. I would want like 223.5.
Well, Saturated's agreeing with you. He just likes straight Blazers team total under, which correlates perfectly with what you just said. Yeah, Blazers team total under makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I'm writing these down now because I haven't done.
Total has gotten bet up a little bit. It was 219 first line I saw. Now it's up to about 220.5. Spread hasn't moved much.
We got the Locker Room podcast today, Pete. We're back. Pay-per-view back in Las Vegas. So I haven't placed any of these NBA bets because I'm waiting for the injury news report at 2 o'clock.
For sure. And the lines will probably jump all around when that happens. Billy Brisbane, let's review our official plays right now, and then we'll maybe you can tell us what you're looking for on the injury report, and then we'll let you go. Thank you so much, man. 11 NBA games. This is tough. Here are my official plays that I have given so far. Washington, Cleveland, first half over 119 minus 113. Orlando Knicks, first half under 109.5. Utah, OKC, first half under 110 minus 104 and full game under 224 minus 111. Spurs, first half plus 4 minus 106. And Houston Rockets, first half money line plus 105 and a whole bunch of leans that I have. And there's basically like 6 small underdogs. It feels like 3 of them will win outright. I'll list them right now. Detroit, Charlotte, Orlando, Toronto, Memphis, Golden State. I don't know which 3. Feels like 3 of those small dogs win outright. But we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out and shakes out. I got a whole bunch of leans. Billy Brisbane, please review your official plays for us that you've given so far in the show. Thank you so much.
Yes, all right. To go over each game's pick, the Cleveland, Washington over 234.5. These are not official plays. These are just predictions. Be over Eck and Bills to see which plays we put up for the website. Milwaukee Bucks team total over and Cade Cunningham PRA. New York Knicks money line, Pascal Siakam props, Oklahoma City money line, and the under 224.5 will definitely be one of the plays I'm setting now. Kessler over 9.5 rebounds, double points, rebounds, however you want to slice and dice it. Memphis team total over. Don't mind the plus 4.5 or the Desmond Bane 4.5 rebounds. Victor Wembanyama 24.5 points is probably the only stud player that I'm going to bet today. And I like the Spurs team total over in that game. Christian Braun's player prop, probably my favorite player prop of the day, the one I put the most money on. Houston Rockets first half spread, one of the best first half ATS teams in the league right now. Los Angeles Clippers money line and under as a same game parlay.
Oof. What a job. What a great segment that was. We covered them all. Covered every friggin' game. Billy Brisbane. And when it comes to the injury report coming out, what are you going to be looking for? What are you going to be keeping your eye out for?
I mean, it's whatever.
All of it. Everything.
Whatever they want to throw at me. I guess I'll be ready for it. I mean, I think last time I was on the show, we talked about the Bucks team total over.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis got ruled questionable like 20 minutes before the game. It's like, it's questionable. We're trying to get money on the other side. No, he's out, motherfucker. He's out. So whatever happens at 2 o'clock, hey, it's the NBA, right? You got to be ready for it.
There it is. Thank you so much, Billy Brisbane. I think now we're going to bring in Dabby Cab and talk about college college football. You don't have anything for college basketball, do you?
What?
Yeah, he's gone.
Hello.
What'd you say?
I didn't know I was on screen. Hi, Pete.
Oh, there we go. No. Jose Bouquett. Just clicking everything. Let's go. All right. Dabby Cab. We were assigned to cover all 9 of the conference championship games of college football. Are you prepared to do that, my friend?
Yes. And I have very strong leans. I haven't bet it yet, but I have very strong leans. Good news is I have a college basketball card that I'll just fire away. We don't even have to cover it. I'll just shoot it away at the end for anybody who just wants action. There's a lot of good games in college basketball today, and I've got several of them bet. But ready to go, Pete. Ready to go.
You definitely are. One thing I love to look for in college basketball is like a home favorite where the line looks too big, but when you know the spot, you know that they're just going to be motivated to roll, and the other team is not going to be motivated to put up a resistance. So and we have a few of those today. I think Murray State might be one of those. Anyway, all right, let's get into college football. Let me just scroll to get to my notes, and we'll hit all these friggin' games. Wow. Got a lot of notes here.
I tell you what, one thing that while you're pulling this up, Pete, that I'll touch on in the chat, Mike can let me know their thoughts too. It's interesting what games are interesting for conference champion games. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to watch Georgia and Texas play again, but both of them are going to the playoffs regardless of who wins that football game.
Right.
And I know Texas might want some revenge, but then you look at games like, the Iowa State and Arizona State game where it's, whoever wins goes to playoffs, whoever doesn't. Or the Boise State game, like those are more interesting to me just because of the way it shapes up. And that's coming from somebody who usually loves to watch these big matchups. It's kind of funny how that worked out for these.
Yeah. All right. So let's just go through it one by one. First game, Conference USA. This is on Friday, right? Jacksonville State at home against Western Kentucky. First line I saw was about 4.5. These were not the openers. These were just the first lines I saw. Now it's down to 3.5. Jacksonville State favored, down from 4.5 to 3.5. Total, right around 57.5 or 58. They did both play each other in their last game. Western Kentucky won that one. Low-scoring game, near pick'em game, but that was a game that Western Kentucky needed and Jacksonville State didn't. So I'm a little bit surprised that it was even as close as it was. Huge issue here, though, is that the quarterback for Jacksonville State, Huff, dual threat, awesome. He was taken off the field in the last game against Western Kentucky, and I'm not exactly sure how injured he is. Just because of the line, I'm assuming that he's going to play and be 100%, but there is that issue. The backup, the guy who backs him up, is not nearly as good, at least so far in his career, as either a passer or a runner. So Huff is a big deal for Jacksonville State. If Huff is playing and he's 100% or even, let's say 92%, I think I'd be loving Jacksonville State here at anything under 6, and maybe have put a little bit of it on the money line as well, just in case they win it by 3 or something like that. I got to be leaning Jacksonville State in the rematch.
You really hit it, though. It's a quarterback situation there, man. Yeah. I got to have the quarterback. I'm not betting them without knowing for sure that the quarterback's in. I don't even got to know that he's 100%, but I've got to know for sure that he's playing, right? Which I guess I think he is. It's a little harder for me to find some information on some of the, I don't want to call these smaller schools, but you know what I mean? It's harder to find that information. I can't give you an answer 100%. And I was just looking again. If he's playing, yeah, I'm with you. I like Jacksonville State. But if not, no. And you got to think he's playing due to the total. I mean, shit, they didn't put up 40 points in their last game. And the total's sitting, I got 58.5 here now. I know we're showing 57.5, but it looks like it's moved up to 58.5. So maybe that's an indication that he's playing. What a crazy total, considering, there wasn't 40 points in the game that they just played. I'm with you. I got another quarterback, Jacksonville State. Without it, I'm off the game.
Okay. Well, it is a fun show. We do hear this. We give picks. Of course, I would want to know more about, I'm assuming that he's going to be in and he's going to be okay. And I think Jacksonville State rolls. I'm going to take Jacksonville State. I'll buy it down to 3 at minus 129. That's a line at a bunch of places. I like Jacksonville State here. I've seen these kinds of situations enough that I think it's okay to make an educated guess that Huff will be in and basically 100%. In that case, I like Jacksonville State. I'll make that an official play. Dab, and you're right. The total is an indication of that as well. And the spread. Jacksonville State minus 3, minus 129. Official. Dabby Cab. Official.
Beautiful.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Wow, man, these are all interesting. Tulane and Army. Army, low total, 46. Army was about a 5-point home dog when I first looked at this game. Let's see if it's moved at all. Yeah, now it's up to 6. Total down to 45.5, which is not a surprise. Army, very good overall was their season, but they haven't been covering recently, and the only legit tough team that they played was Notre Dame, and they got blown out. Obviously, Tulane's not Notre Dame, but Tulane is, a legit high caliber team that has a record, of course, this year of shutting down triple option teams. They shut out Navy, right? Now, Army's obviously a lot better than Navy, but still, Tulane's a formidable team that should be able to handle Army stylistically. The total is low, which I was thinking maybe I was actually leaning over because I think that Army will be able to put up some points on Tulane one way or another. The offense should be much better than what Navy's was. And Tulane, of course, should be able to score as well. I don't know if I'd want to lay 6, but I'm definitely leaning Tulane and leaning over. Haven't made a bet on this yet, but that's the way I'm leaning right now.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Kong's Clips in the chat. He was heavy on Army this year, made a lot of money back in Army. He's very good calls on them. I was.
And what is he like here?
What'd you say?
And what does he like here? Does he like Army here?
I'm guessing Army because he dropped a little Army and Army helmet with fire in the chat. So I'm guessing Army, which is I would lean towards his knowledge on it more than mine. I was thinking Tulane also, just for the simple fact that this Army offense has slowed down the last 4 weeks. I guess they put up 29 against UTSA last week, so not so bad. But it's their quarterback. I know he was out for a minute. What's his name? Daly, I think. Yeah, Daly. He was out for a minute. So it centers around him also. We come back to this quarterback conversation. I was leaning Tulane here, Pete. I don't know. I haven't bet it yet.
Yeah, I'm going to hold it. I mean, the Memphis game was not good for Tulane. That was not a game that they didn't want to win. They did want to win that one, but Memphis has I believe, a significantly better defense than Army will present as far as stopping, Hughes and the Tulane running game. So, I'm leaning Tulane hard, leaning over, but I'm not going to make either of those official as of right now. Dabby Cab. That makes sense.
Over is probably where I would lean the most too. I like that. I like where your head's at with that one.
Yeah, and then I guess the Tulane team total over is also something I would be thinking about. But I'm going to hold off on that for right now. That's a very tough thing to do, is to bet against a service academy team in a game like this as a big home dog. That's a very scary proposition. All right, next game on the card, Mountain West. Dabby Cab, what a game here. UNLV and Boise State, right? Of course, they already played once, and Boise won 29-24 as a 4-point road fave at UNLV. But UNLV, they're just a team with a lot of fight to them. This game, and it's got a high total. Boise State, of course, usually has a very strong home field advantage, but in a game like this, they are at home here. It feels to me like the classic back and forth shootout. Over probably has some value. Side could go either way, but the underdog probably has some value both on the money line and especially on a spread if it goes down to the last possession or so. UNLV has an awesome dual threat guy, Hajj Malik Williams, and I think that he didn't have a good game in the first game against Boise. He got a lot of sacks, and he was kind of held down. But I suspect that they have learned something from that. They'll watch the tape and figure something out. This game just has high scoring, back and forth written all over it, which means I'd be leaning over and leaning UNLV plus the points.
Yeah, I was looking to see how many yards Gentry had against UNLV first time. 133 carries, only 128 yards. It's funny to say only 100, right? Or only 128, right? But
that, of course, he's the Heisman Trophy contender for Boise.
Yeah. Thing is his number, I don't know if it's up yet, but it's usually sitting at around 180 or 190 on the prop. I wonder where it is this game, since they kept him at 128 the first game. It's crazy to see Boise at home with only a -4 spread, because they covered this number at UNLV, right? In the first game, they won by 5, if I'm not 29-24, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have that in front of me. 29-24. Crazy to think that they covered that first number here, and it's and now they're at home. I just think it's if Williams has a better game and they can protect him a little bit, I guess it probably comes down to the last possession. I wouldn't bet this game, not with the total, because if you like the over, you like UNLV, because Boise's gonna, exactly what Boise's gonna do. They're gonna give Gentry the ball 30 to 40 times. He's gonna run the ball between 30 or 40 times this game. So if you think maybe, he does get to his prop this time, you can take it, because you saw he got it 33 times in that. So I don't know, but I'd stay off this game altogether, Pete. I think it's going to be a great football game, but not to bet.
I think it's going to be a great football game too. And I really like UNLV here. The first game was actually, with some of the, the deeper analytics and stuff, was kind of an even game. The UNLV was better on a per play basis, and the Broncos are good. They're a legit excellent team, but I think that the home field advantage will be neutralized a little bit in this spot. I think that UNLV will probably make some adjustments that'll be effective. The line hasn't really moved. I'm about to give UNLV +4 as an official play. If I had any balls, I would give the money line, but I don't. We all know that. Here we go though. Kong's Clips is on UNLV +4.5. Nuke Worker is on Boise -3.5. Man, if Boise wins by 4, I'll be so happy for you. Robert Franklin liking Tulane -6. And Lucky Lefty liking the first half under, and Boise first half -2. And Moneyball says Boise State -4 is the play. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we got to touch on, Boise State has everything on the line riding here in this game. I mean, it's big for UNLV also, but Boise State's playoffs hopes are right here.
Wow. Comms Clips pretty strongly liking UNLV +4.5. Moneyball pretty strongly liking Boise -4. If it lands 4, that'll be awesome. Then Nuke Worker will cash. I'm leaning UNLV. Could be wrong. And the total is I'm leaning over. I guess I'll pass as far as an official play is concerned. Definitely has live betting written all over it as well. Lean is UNLV +4, but I won't make that official. Dabby Cab. All right, you ready to move on?
Good to go.
All right, Dabby. Next game we're going to cover the MAC title game, Ohio and Miami, Ohio. These two teams also played already this year, and Miami won by 10 at home as a small favorite. And of course, Miami has Gabbert at quarterback, who's just an extreme veteran, guiding the team, leading the team, playing very well. Not a shock that Miami rolled in the first game. And the first game was actually, they only won it by 10, but it was actually less close than the final score would indicate. One of those classic games. Miami was way up, and Ohio came back. Ohio is definitely an impressive team, but they have his quarterback, Parker Navarro, who is very good but flawed. If he needs to pass, he's not terrible, but he's not quite elite. And it's on neutral field, of course. And it's a very small favorite line for Miami, Ohio. I saw 2.5. Where is it now? It's this is of course being played on Saturday. It's still about 2.5. Total is a 44.5. I'm leaning hard towards Miami, Ohio to win again. Miami, Ohio -2.5. Haven't bet it yet. Want to hear what you guys have to say. Lean hard towards Miami of Ohio -2.5. What do you think, Dabby?
I mean, in a game like this, and you got a veteran like Gabbert, I mean, I get it. 21 touchdown passes this season. He keeps the interceptions low compared to the touchdown rating. I mean, 10 interceptions, same as Navarro, but he's only got 10 touchdown passes. So you're looking at like a completely different ratio there. I get it. And they won the first game here. It's a small number. Both these teams have been rolling through their own, this conference is easy work for both of them this year. Both are, this is another one, Pete, where this is a tough one for me. I think Miami, Ohio might be the play here. I might get there with that also. I'm not going to do it right now, but I like Miami, Ohio here.
It's just a little tough because, Miami, Ohio obviously won the first game easily, but it was also probably it was definitely a little bit of a statistical outlier for Ohio. So even though Ohio's actual performance in that game was worse than the final score indicated, their likely performance for this game is likely to be way better than their statistical performance from that game. I'm still leaning Miami though, and I don't know if I'm going to bet it though, but and of course, adjustments will come, and Miami is a talented team. The only thing that just makes me really nervous is Navarro's lack of elite passing, which would matter in a game like this.
The total kind of makes me feel like the books are leaning Miami also. I mean, it's a low total favors Miami, Ohio. Ohio's had a lot of games where they're putting up 40 points or more. I mean, they can put up points, don't get me wrong, but those aren't as good a defense as Miami, Ohio is. So, the total makes me think Miami, Ohio also.
Some interesting advanced stats. I'm definitely leaning Miami, Ohio. Haven't bet it yet. Robert Franklin likes Miami money line, and Lucky Lefty likes the first half under. That's not bad as well. Sean Higgs loves there you go. I wonder where fucking Nasty Nate is. Look at all the love I'm getting for this. Nasty Nate. Eat it, pal. All right. Next game on the card. You ready, Dabby Cab?
Oh, yeah.
Iowa State, Arizona State, the Big 12 game. This is being played in a neutral field. Arizona State, of course, awesome ATS all year long, right? When you're picked last and you make the conference championship game, probably had a pretty good ATS year. I don't know how many ATS losses Arizona State had, but like one or two. Just a very impressive team. On the other side, Iowa State and Arizona State is a small favorite. First line I saw was about 2.5, and it is it's down to 2, and the total is right around 50-51. I was definitely leaning over. It's up to 51. I still like it there. And, want to look into it a little bit more. Arizona State is a formidable team. Definitely leaning Iowa State, probably just on the money line, not taking the +2. The defenses here are maybe, Arizona State's defense may be a little bit iffy, maybe a little bit exploitable. And I think that Iowa State should be able to keep up with them. I'm liking over, and I'm liking Iowa State +2 or the money line, a little bit less than the over. What do you think, Dabby?
This is the best game. Tell me it's not. I mean, let me know in the chat which one you guys think. And I get it, like Texas, Georgia, but it's like it don't mean nothing. That game doesn't mean anything. This game,
but it means something in terms of like pride and revenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're both going to the playoffs afterwards. I get it. It means something. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I'm not trying to downplay it that much. But this one, this one's probably the most exciting one. And I don't even like Big 12 football. I think the Big 12 sucks. But this game right here excites me. I lean the other way, and I think I was almost going to make it official. I hated that you said Iowa State. Arizona State, like you said, chip on their shoulder all season. Now here they are in the championship game, a chance to win the Big 12, and then move on into the playoffs. And you look at Leavitt, Sam Leavitt, 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He does a good job protecting the ball, and that's comes right back to Scattaboo in the backfield. Shout out to him. That's a fun name to say. But damn, he's put up some yards, right? 147 against BYU, 177 against Arizona, 153 against Oklahoma State, and I can keep going. 182 against Kansas, 158 against Utah, a notoriously good defense, just not this year. But I like Arizona State. I think the momentum's on their side. I like their quarterback. I like the running back.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting slammed here. Dabby Cab likes Arizona State. Kongs Clips, Arizona State smash. Sean Higgs, Arizona State money line. Robert Franklin likes the over, but Robert Franklin likes Arizona State money line. And Wrench Mob all lowercase says Nasty Nate for president. I'm getting slammed from two different angles here, Dabby Cab. Yeah, and Moneyball says Arizona State has been playing shutdown defense, but their vulnerability is in the passing game, right? Like if you want to beat them, that's what you do, and that is kind of how Iowa State is built, which I guess would make me like the over more than necessarily Iowa State. Wow. Look at this. Sean Higgs that's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Shout out to Sean Higgs.
I could go against everyone else, but then if you add Sean Higgs to that group, also like an Arizona State money line, wow. And then Moneyball talking about their defense. Yeah, I thought maybe they'd have a statistically, maybe they had a vulnerability in the passing game that, okay, all right, okay. I'm going to make the over an official play. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm going to make the over an official play. 51 minus 109. Not sure what I think about the spread, I guess, but let's do this. Iowa State, Arizona State over 51 minus 109. That's my second official conference championship play. And you're liking Arizona State along with Sean Higgs, Kong's Clips, and everyone. Lucky Lefty likes Iowa State first half money line.
Yeah, I like Arizona State here. I mean, like I said, I think they got the chip on their shoulder. They've had it all season. They got the momentum. I know Iowa State's won a couple of their last 2 or 3 games. They lost 2 in a row. Yeah, their last 3 after losing to Tech and Kansas. But
in general, it's just teams like Arizona State, that were like picked to finish last and then have an incredible season and get to the very end. I love to bet on them right up until the very end. And then at the very end, I'm usually thinking about betting against them if I can find a reason to. And I guess I just saw the Iowa State passing offense versus Arizona State passing defense as a possible reason to do it. Also, Arizona State's one of their wide receivers is out. Or might be out, Jordan Tyson. I'm assuming that he will be out. I'm not sure, but so I was leaning Iowa State. Haven't bet it yet. We'll see where it closes, but I like the over, and I'll make that an official play. All right, Dabby Cab.
Sounds good.
All right, next. Nasty Nate says, Pete, that coat smells like roadkill. Yeah, Nast. That's why I wouldn't wear it out of the house. If I wear it on camera, you can't smell it. So yes, it does. It doesn't smell great, but that's why I would never wear it out of the house. Nasty Nate. Of course not. Of course not. Moneyball, Arizona State money line. I'm going big. Wow. Wow. Okay. There you go. There you go. Everyone we respect, loving Arizona State. I say I'm leaning Iowa State, and then everyone's like, now we like it even more if that was possible. All right, Dabby Cab. Georgia, Texas. Here we go. We all know what happened, right? First game, Georgia won at Texas. They just beat them in the trenches, right? The defensive line for Georgia just ate Texas up. Both quarterbacks had subpar games in that one, but Texas quarterback was even more held down. And as you said, neither of these teams needs it to make the playoffs. But you got to assume that there's big revenge on the minds. There's no way Texas doesn't have revenge on their minds here. Georgia's been terrible ATS all year long, right? Texas was okay ATS. They had a bunch of losses that were close. The Georgia game was a bad one. The Vanderbilt was a game for the bad one, but the Vanderbilt game right after the Georgia game was bad. But other than that, Texas has been okay ATS. And I know what Georgia did in the first game, -2.5. It's a neutral spot in Georgia. I'm thinking Texas might be the play here. What do you think, Dabby?
Again, I wish they didn't both go to the playoffs here. Like the one angle is revenge, right? For Texas, right. The one angle, if you want to talk motivation. But I mean, obviously, it's a
pretty big angle, though, Dabby Cab.
Yeah, but it's a championship game. Like I'm not going to sit here and just say that Kirby Smart's not going to have his football team ready to play. I mean, it's Kirby Smart. I fully expect him to have him ready to play.
They also played a multi-overtime game against Georgia Tech in their last game as well.
Sure. They did that. And also, like you said, just haven't been covering spreads all year. They were able to get 3 picks off Ewers the first game, if I'm not mistaken. And a couple of them are, actually, I got to double check. I know Beck still threw 3 interceptions. It's crazy they beat Texas the way they did with Beck still throwing 3 interceptions. It was not a pretty game from Beck. Beck has been a huge question mark all season. What Georgia did, though, is they got pressure on Ewers. That's going to be the whole key to this game is can that Texas offensive line hold up against Georgia here? Because all year it was, Texas, this offensive line, this, that, and the other. But then they show up against Georgia and they get blown through. They're scrambling every play. I think Kirby Smart has his team ready, Pete. I don't want to always be on the opposite side, but I would be, if I was forced to bet this, I would have to take points in the first half with Georgia, just like I did in the first game, which is crazy because I know Georgia doesn't show up in the first half of football games all year. Even the games they've won, they haven't. But guess what? The one time I bet them first half was against Texas, and they covered. So, forgive me, but, it's hard for me not to want to go back to the well with the same bet. I don't think I'm going to do it just because I don't like this football game. I like the next two football games, and I like the one we just talked about, and I will probably bet those three before I bet this one on Saturday.
Once again, the comment section. Look at this. Moneyball. Georgia plus 2.5. Georgia is my team. We already beat these guys. Oh, no. So it's a my team comment as well from Moneyball. You know how powerful those kinds of comments are, Dabby Cab. Yeah. When someone says, this is my team, trust me, they're going to lose. Or this is my team, we're going to get them again. Justin McElvey likes Georgia. Money line plus 114.
Georgia's his team also, though.
Is Justin McElvey's team?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not yet. No, I'm not talking about when like knucklehead like Nusty Nate says like Boston's going to smash. Moneyball's making a like, this is my team. Trust me. I know these guys. Oh, boy. I thought Texas was the play here. I didn't bet it yet, but all right.
I mean, Georgia, the one game that they looked really good was against Texas, so I could see it. I mean, Georgia looked terrible against Ole Miss. I'm just going to say it outright. Like, they looked awful. Their secondary had so many holes in it. So I'm excited to see how this game plays out.
They're just not a reliable team, Georgia. Now, I'm not saying that they might not go into the playoffs and, cover every game and just blow people away and cover by double digits. But in general, they're just not a very reliable team, and now they're playing. I mean, Texas, maybe they're better than Texas objectively, but Texas has, it's obviously a great team also, and they have huge motivational factors.
You just touched on it. So we talk about them not being good ATS all year. Obviously, their win-loss record is fine, or they wouldn't be right here at the number 7 team playing. So their win-loss record is fine, maybe not up to Georgia standards. But Texas, they were a dog, right? They're not usually a dog. They're usually laying double digits, trying to cover big spreads. Right here, we're talking 2.5. So it's a little, you got to take that whole don't cover with a grain of salt because this is a different spread situation.
Justin McElvey comes in. He says, Georgia's definitely my team. So now we got 2 my team comments like in Georgia. All right. I thought Texas was a play that I was going to give officially. We'll see where this line moves. I'll probably bet it anyway. But definitely this game has live and second half written all over it. Sense is a good spot for Texas, but we'll see. All right, let's move on for now. Dabby Cab. Next game, Marshall and Louisiana Sunbelt conference tournament championship game. They've both been great ATS recently. Marshall was great all year long. This similar to the UNLV game, based on my analysis here, statistical and otherwise, has back and forth shootout written all over it. Similar lines, similar total. Again, leaning Marshall with the points. Louisiana, their backup quarterback took over and he's been fine. They've been rolling with him, but Marshall has a good running game that should be able to keep up with them. They've got a quarterback who should have a big game against Louisiana's run defense. That guy Braylon Braxton. And so once again, I'm thinking back and forth shootout comes down to the final possessions. Leaning Marshall. What do you think, Dabby?
Yeah, I like the over too. Over is definitely what I was thinking when I looked at this one. I just think it's points. I think both teams, it's going to be a race to the finish. And anytime it's a race to the finish, 5.5 is a lot of points to cover, right? You want under 3 if it's a race to a finish. So I guess I'd lean Marshall with the points, and I like the over. Sorry, I don't have a ton more to say about this, but
it's okay.
I don't want to give you guys shit that I don't make it up. I don't fake it.
Of course. Yeah. Don't worry. That's my job, Dabby. I'll do all the I can handle all the making ups in these segments. I was leaning Marshall at +5. Now it's 5.5. I was leaning over 57. Now it's 56.5. So we'll see where it closes. Lines could easily go back the other way, but I'm definitely leaning Marshall plus the points and the over. And and the Marshall team total over as well, of course. Just thinking that Louisiana will be vulnerable to what Marshall can do offensively. But I'll hold off right now as far as an official play is concerned. Next game, Dabby Cab, the ACC championship game, Clemson and SMU, right? Clemson has not been covering recently. They just lost to South Carolina. SMU has been good all year long. And, Clemson looks like, when they step up in competition, not the most reliable team. SMU so far this year in games with competitive spreads, they've rolled, right? Pitt, Louisville, Florida State, TCU, covered them all. And this is a very, small spread here, neutral site. And SMU just a 2.5 point favorite. I think it hasn't moved. Let me see. SMU, still 2.5. Totals 57. I think I'm going to take SMU here. It is a bit of a sell low spot on Clemson after the South Carolina loss, but I think the fundamentals favor SMU. Although the line hasn't, I would have expected the line to, and maybe it will. Maybe by kickoff it'll be 4. I'm leaning SMU, Dabby Cab.
What a crazy game, man. And shout out to SMU, man. I talked about this earlier. They're actually selling out stadiums up the road in Dallas again, actually packing the stadium in again, which is, I know, cool to see since they haven't done it since the 80s before I was even fucking alive. But like,
good for them.
Yeah. But like this game here, I don't know how you don't look at SMU if you're betting it, just because I feel like everyone's going to want to take Clemson. Hell, I want to take Clemson to bounce back.
You think? Really?
I feel like a lot of it's Clemson, Pete. It's Clemson versus SMU. When I say everyone, I don't mean you and me. I mean the public. I mean Joe Smo that doesn't gamble, but on Saturday during championship week he wants to gamble, or just a random person. Yeah, I would think people would think Clemson. It's just kind of one of those. It's like North Carolina in basketball, right? It's just the name. It's Clemson. So yeah, I think the public will. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the public will be on Clemson. I mean, hell, if Clemson would have beat South Carolina, and it was a great game, if Clemson would have beat South Carolina, maybe I'd be leaning that way too. But I've been down on Clemson since the first game. I mean, they played 3 good football teams this year. Maybe you can consider Pitt a good football team. I don't. Okay. They played 3 good football teams, South Carolina, Georgia, and Louisville, and they lost all 3 of those football games. SMU is another good football team. I'm with you. I like SMU here. I just, like I said, Clemson hasn't beaten anybody. They have not. They are number 12 because they are Clemson. They haven't beaten anybody. They haven't shown anything. They're 9-3, and they've lost to the 3 good football teams they've played. So yeah, SMU.
They actually did beat Pittsburgh, but they lost ATS. They were a 12-point favorite. They won by 4.
Yeah, see, 12-point favorite.
Yeah,
and they were at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not a good football team. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know who's better that they've beat. I mean,
Virginia Tech,
I guess maybe. Yeah, they didn't beat anybody. You see what I'm saying? Like, look.
Yeah. No. My only concern is that the line is low and so far hasn't gotten bet up, which might happen.
You think the line's low for SMU?
Yeah. If there were fundamental reasons that they should be favored by significantly more than I'm seeing, someone would have pulled the trigger on it. I think maybe not. Maybe we'll see. Maybe by Saturday it'll be 4 or 4.5. Regardless, I'm gonna make SMU an official play here. I'll just take the money line at an offshore book I'm looking at right now, -129. SMU money line, third official play from me. SMU money line -129. I understand it's a sell low spot on Clemson for sure.
Clemson's entire offense relies on whether or not they can run the football. Their plays are very slow developing, and I get tired of watching it. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, let's look at the comments section, and then we will move on. Moneyball says, feels like take the points type of game. Yeah, it's a hard game. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm not getting trapped in thinking that SMU should be an obviously bigger favorite than they are, and they're not for a reason. But we'll see. All right, next. And there I see DC Capper liking Marshall in the over as well. Those are my leans too. And last game on the card, Dabby Cab. You ready? Here we go. Penn State, Oregon. Big Ten. Championship game. Neutral site. Penn State only losses to Ohio State. Oregon undefeated. Oregon a small favorite here. 3.5. First line I saw. Line has not moved much. Still 3.5 most places. 49.5 is the total. I was thinking, a lot of people have commented that they were liking unders or first half unders in some of these games. This is one where I was thinking the under might be a sneaky play, right? Oregon, of course, runs up the score at home. On the road, they can be dragged down into lower scoring games. I have to assume that that's what Penn State's going to want to do here. Obviously the strength of Penn State is their defensive line, among the best in the country. So as far as the spread's concerned, still not exactly sure, but I was definitely thinking under, and more so first half under. What are your thoughts on Penn State, Oregon, Debbie Cap?
So another game where both these teams get into the playoffs if they lose. And I'm going to tell you right now, when Penn State loses this football game and gets into the playoffs, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They'll get it, but they don't deserve it. Shout out Wine Time. Him and I both said this the first time Penn State was ranked number 4 this season. So I'm going to go ahead and echo it this time. They are the worst rated number 4 football team that I can remember in a long time in college football. Penn State is not a top football team. I'm sorry. I know they got a bunch of fans, so I'm going to get some hate for this. But Penn State's not a top tier team. Give me Oregon here. I think it's indicative of the fact that it's a 3.5, not a 2.5, like pretty much every other game that we've covered outside of the smaller schools, right? All the bigger ones have been 2.5. Texas, Clemson, SMU game, or the same one, but ASU, Arizona State, Clemson, SMU, all these games are 2.5. This one's 3.5 for a reason. Oregon wins this game. I think they win it by margin. I'll take Oregon. I'll make it official here. I got no problem with that.
Okay, minus 3.5. What do you think of my thought that Penn State, at least in the first half, will try to slow things down with a run-heavy, defense-oriented game and have some success doing that?
Yeah, Penn State does a good job of slowing the game down, especially in the first half. A lot of times they get blown out in the second half and not necessarily – and I'm not saying this game's a blowout. It might be a slow football game. I just think Oregon wins. They find a way to win, and they cover this number because I think I don't think very highly of Penn State. I like Oregon. And this is a spot where I think Dylan Gabriel, with how much Penn State slows the game down, when it comes down to it, I trust him a lot more than I trust Drew Aller. I know Aller's only got 5 interceptions on the season. He's got a 71% completion rating, which looks great, but he's not taking shots down the field. He's not taking risks. I mean, this is the same conservative dink and dunk Penn State offense that it's always been. They're going to run the football, which supports your under. They're going to throw short passes. They're going to hit that tight end. I forgot his name. The guy that they basically throw it to him every play. So you could take Penn State's tight end as an over if you want to prop. But yeah, I like Oregon.
Yeah, I'm looking at their game. Yeah. Would you prefer the first half under or the full game under?
Probably first half.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at what Penn State is going to be able to do. Let me look at the comments section here. Robert Franklin likes Oregon minus 3.5. DC Capper likes Oregon and the under. Saturated Penn State's defense is how they win. That's the problem. Saturated said speed kills. Oregon has it in bunches. So, 24 that's a pretty damn low first half total if you got an offense that can put up points in a hurry. Yeah. Yeah, Chase J saying, why is this not 7.5, honestly? 7.5. Robert Franklin liking the under. All right, what do I want to make official here? And people were also saying that in the SMU Clemson game, the under is also a good bet. Way too high. That might be true.
Yeah, Warren.
But, yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Joe. Joe dropped it. Joe T dropped it. Warren.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That dude gets the ball almost every play, it feels like.
Rod Z giving us a stat. Yeah. Wow. Rod Z stat. Bet under neutral field teams where the total is between 49.5 and 56, involving 2 excellent passing teams after 7+ games since 92, 34-8. That's nice to say. I mean, that's nice to see. Okay. You think Oregon will run it up at the end? Probably not, right?
No. They're ready for the playoffs.
Yes, I agree. Okay, I'm gonna take. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make both of them. I'm gonna double up on this one. I'm gonna take the first half under as an official play. 24. Let me see what the line is here. Minus 114. What the hell? I'll double up. And the full game, 49.5. And that is minus 110 right now, market wide. I'll take both of them. A lot of love for Oregon, though, and you guys are probably right. Lots of people in the comment section loving this. Loving this. Oh, DC Capper's saying he just liked the under in this game, not that he likes Oregon. And he says, Rod Z says bet under the first half total in Penn State games. All right, I'm on both. That's what I was leaning anyway. I mean, that's what I was going to give anyway. Andrew G says Penn State will keep it tight and close as possible until the end. Dougie Wise says I like Penn State. Okay. And Andrew G, slow start to the game at least. So I'm taking the first half under and the full game under. All right, Dabby Cab. That does it for our bowl coverage. I mean, not bowl coverage, our conference championship game coverage here. You want to review the official plays we've given, Dabby?
Oh, I didn't really give any.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm going to take Oregon. I'll take Oregon.
Oregon.
Official. Yeah, I'll take Oregon. Yeah.
Okay. The official ones I've given, in case anyone's tracking, keeping me honest, Jacksonville State -3, -129. Over in Iowa State, Arizona State, 51 -109. I was leaning Arizona State. Everyone in the comments section piling on, including Sean Higgs, piling on me, and Dabby Cab, like in Arizona State.
Yeah, I like Arizona State too. Why not?
Okay.
I'll bet.
SMU money line -129. That might be a big trap. And Penn State, Oregon, first half under 24 and full game under 49.5. Got a whole bunch of other leans that I'm thinking about. Once again, people in the comments section suggesting that the under 57 in Clemson and SMU might be worth a shot. That makes a lot of sense. The Marshall game, I was leaning Marshall and the over. The market has moved against my leans so far. We'll see where it closes. And again, I'm leaning Miami, Ohio, but that is a tricky one. Ohio may make some adjustments, but I'm leaning Miami, Ohio at just 2.5. I'm leaning UNLV +4. A lot of disagreement in the comments section. Comms Clips loving UNLV +4.5, but a bunch of other people liking Boise -3.5 and 4. Tulane and Army. Comms Clips loves Army plus the points. That's an interesting game. I'm passing on that one. And that's it. We did it, Dabby Cab. We did it.
The chat, Higgs said you're laying -38 with your outfit. Of course, Pete looks flyer than me. And then Dave put something in the chat asking if you regret or miss the cane. You know it's right here in the background, right? You know it's always right here. Did you know that?
Oh, very nice. Yes, absolutely.
It's right here by the picture of my pops. He's tackling. Oh, why did I just blank? Eric Dickerson. He's tackling Eric Dickerson in that pick. So that should tell you, like, it's up there by special. It's by special things.
Sean Higgs, of course, gave me a don't just stop thinking, Loshak. Arizona State money line. Don't think. And I'm like, but don't. Arizona State money line -140. That's Sean Higgs' take on that game. Moneyball, Arizona State. Wow. I just you know what I mean? Like Dabby Cab, like those teams that way overachieve, they're for real. But when they finally get to the end, that's when I like to
but is this the end or are the playoffs the end?
Yeah. What?
Is this the end or the playoffs the end?
No, this would be the end for a team that was picked to finish, last. Literally. I think they were picked to finish last, weren't they?
Yeah, but they make it to the playoffs if they win.
Yeah, right. That's not the yeah. So, but in my analysis, this would be considered an end game. Like I'm not saying it's the end of their season. I'm saying these types of games are the types of games where I look to fade those teams that wildly overachieve all season long. And when that overachievement is for real, not fluky, as is the case with Arizona State. But we'll see. It's an excellent slate of games. And Rod Z saying take the under in the Jacksonville State game. Okay. I might do that. Maybe I'll chuck on that's an interesting one. Let me see. What would that line be? Western Kentucky. Yeah, I could see that. I'm just going to stick with my Jacksonville State play and hope that the quarterback is healthy. All right, Dabby Cab. Do you have any college basketball you want to share with us, or should we wrap this up?
I don't want to make us go break into it or anything. I'll tell you guys some stuff that I like today, though. I like Arkansas over Miami. I like Cincinnati over Villanova. I'm on whiskey over Michigan. I don't know how much I like Wisconsin in this spot, though. The more I dig into that one, I feel like I might be on the wrong side there. Michigan might be live. I like Ole Miss with the points against Louisville. And then I went ahead and took Kentucky against Clemson. Line was moving against me on that one earlier. And Clemson's at home, so that's another tough one. But yeah, those are some spots I like today.
Okay, and I actually took St. Peter's first half against Duquesne, and if they are
if you want my actual bets, I can give you the bets too. I was just telling you what I like.
Yeah, give me the bet. Let's get the bets, baby.
All right, Cincinnati first half -1.5, -110. Arkansas -2, -109. That's for Arkansas. That's against Miami. I didn't touch on that one, but first half also, excuse me. Arkansas first half -2, and then Wisconsin's full game -3.5. Like I said, I don't know how much I like that one, and you can get -3 now. And then Ole Miss first half +1.5, and then Kentucky full game on the money line -115.
And someone, I forgot who it was, said they loved the Georgia team total over, which is interesting. I thought I saw that total headed down. All right, and just for and then there's LaSalle Northeastern. I kind of like Northeastern in general. They're off of 2 losses. I took them -1.5. LaSalle's a tough team, but I took Northeastern -1.5. I don't know if I want to give that officially. And I'm thinking that Murray State -13 might also be a good play. And I did take St. Peter's first half. And then depending on how the first half goes, I'll do something with the second half. Let me see. Yeah, the Michigan-Wisconsin game. What did you say you did with that one, Davey?
I'm on Wisconsin. Michigan, if you look at the metrics and a lot of stuff, like Michigan actually, like on paper, Michigan actually might look like a better basketball team than Wisconsin, which kind of surprised me. You know, Wisconsin undefeated, you know, they're ranked high. So they're 8-0 here. Might be a flashy look. I might have bit too quickly with Wisconsin. Michigan's defense is elite. So we're going to see, but I'm on Wisconsin either way. I'm on there. I stand behind my bets. I'm not hedging it. I'm here. So
see, I was thinking under and maybe first half under when it was 150. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like the under. Yeah,
you like the under, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, I'll give a few college basketball plays, add them on to my official slate of games. I'll take whatever lines there are right now. I'll take St. Pete's first half spread. I'll take the Michigan Wisconsin game first half under, and maybe I'll add on Murray State. I probably should also add on the first half on that one. Let me just quickly check. Jose Bouquet's probably getting fingers right on the friggin' button to end the show. Jose Bouquet, you want to drop in for a sec?
Howdy, Pete.
Hey, Bouquet, how you doing? Is this okay what we're doing right now?
Yeah, you're good, Pete. No rush.
All right. Let me just see.
You want to go another hour, Pete? I know you've got some soccer to go to. I know you've got some in there.
Definitely not. All right. St. Pete's first half +2, -109. I'm seeing that. Could probably shop around for a 2.5, but I'll just take that. Again, the Georgia game. Wow, that someone early, I forgot who it was, said they liked the Georgia team total over. Georgia's a big favorite, of course, but that line, the total was like 144. Now it's dropped to 141. So that total is headed down. That's interesting right there. Is anyone in the comment section giving any plays that they like?
Rez Mob was the one that gave out Georgia team total over. So shout out to you, Rez. DC Capper, Arkansas -5. DC Capper also has his top plays. Iowa -5 as well. Sean Higgs mentioned he likes whiskey too, but a big group moved on Michigan +3.5. Morgan Spooner also dropping his card here as well. Thank you, Morgan. And Sean Higgs here saying, gotta love the Pac-12 winning the Big 10 and Big 12 this year. Big 12 winning the SEC and AAC winning the ACC. But the year, Big 10, SEC, best conferences.
The Michigan game is actually up a little bit. I would have expected 148.5, something like that. It's actually 150.5 or 151. I'll take the first. Sorry?
No one said anything. You're good.
Okay. I'll take the first half under in that officially. 71 -119. That's at a offshore. Northeastern -1, -118 full game. St. Pete's first half +2, -109. And I'll throw on Murray State -13, -115. I should probably do the first half on that one as well. But I'll just do full game on that one, the Murray State game. And that's it.
Beautiful, Pete.
Beautiful. We got everything. Jose Bouquett. All right. Comment section as always. Thank you so much. We'll see you all again next Tuesday.